Radio Underground. We have special guest here today.
That
We've
pause.
got because it wasn't
long
loading
pause.
in. There's no load in.
No load in.
So this is Radio Underground, and we got special guests today. With me always is Brian,
Hi.
but we have two guests today. We've got Tom, who was here the week we talked about Twilight.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then we got a new guest here. We got Jay, longtime friend of the show,
Hola.
or just friends of us.
You
Whatever.
guys talked about
We're
Twilight.
all drinking Coors, so
It's still gay, by the way. I didn't know if you knew that.
what
It is.
Still gay.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Twilight's
No,
Still
it's
queer.
game.
I've never seen a single Twilight movie.
We talk about Mike's time where he accidentally once saw Twilight.
Yeah, the story was. I don't know if I want to tell it again.
No, you don't want to tell it again. We'll
It's
tell you
really
how
gay.
It was an
Listen to the
accident.
show.
It was a big accident.
All right. So we were gonna we had correspondence with Jay all week, and we were gonna talk about some stuff. And I didn't do any bullet points because the windstorm took down my tree, and that was Wednesday. So that's my excuse to do nothing.
Can we mic the fireworks that are outside?
Yeah, I don't want to get me going.
He
About that.
threatened to kill the
I
fireworks.
threatened to kill
people
the
last week.
fireworks guy, and then just because of the age we live in, I had to reiterate that I'm not actually going to kill him.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted to, sort of, but I wouldn't do it.
You only got one fireworks guy around here?
Well,
I
people
have-
get shot
Well,
around
last week
here
it was
now.
one. That's true.
Well, now they're hooking up like Roman candles to drones and sending those around and firing them
That's
off.
actually a pretty cool idea.
That's pretty genius.
Yeah. I actually like that. Because it's
There's a Roman
scientific.
candle up to a drone, huh?
I guess
Just
so.
taping it to there.
And then just send it off and start
You
shooting
can
up
probably
shit in the
hook a Roman
neighborhood.
candle up to your cat.
Well,
Also,
That's
when they legalize fireworks here, that's why I quit being a libertarian. I'm like, all right, we don't need that much freedom.
no.
Because it was just like I remember it was legal in Ohio forever. My whole life, our whole lives.
We actually
you could
drove down
always
before.
get the kind that
Bowling Green
blew
we
up,
go
shot
to.
in the air. They legalized it here so we could get the tax money, which seemed like a good idea. We'll get the tax money. Don't go down there. We'll make them legal here. Said, how much worse can it be? It's only an hour away. Let's fucking fireworks year round. Ever since they legalized it here, it's been a fucking nightmare.
How do those places facilitate business for a full calendar year? Like, there's one over there by the bowling alley, and the parking lot is consistently empty all
Yeah.
the time.
Although, last couple of days it's had a couple people there because the fireworks, you're only allowed to shoot it. The fireworks, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, July 4th weekend now.
But it's still open the week of Christmas.
It
Who's
really
buying fireworks like fucking
Man, I don't
the week
know.
of Christmas?
They're,
Jesus likes fireworks.
they're
too.
buying it at Christmas time so they can get the Christmas deals for the New Year show they're going to do in their front yard.
So lame.
It really is. Fireworks are terrible.
Yeah, I like them on July 4th only.
I like watching them from your front porch way over there, and that's about
Well,
it.
that's the community firework.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all I want. Is
I
a
like the
community
fireworks
fireworks.
in the movie Coneheads when he lights off that giant thing.
Oh
The
yeah.
big
Oh
skyscraper.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I like the fireworks in the Lord of the Rings, the first one, when the dragon came through and swooped through.
Yeah, Gandalf had a slightly better
Setup. Yeah.
setup than this redneck down the street from me.
I just like when Danny McBride said, "We'll light this motherfucker up like the 4th of July in Tropic Thunder."
Yeah.
I've never seen any Lord of the Rings, and I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I'm also not like I don't watch Game of Thrones guy. But I
No.
will say that people are very mean to people that don't watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I-
you bag
I-
at work for
like
not
if-
watching it.
I remember like when the new season started, someone at work's like, "You watching Game of Thrones?" And I'm like, "No, I just don't watch the show." Oh, don't watch Game of Thrones. Oh, it's like, no, I just don't watch it. Like, everybody can't watch everything. It's insane.
No. If everybody watched it, it would never go off the air because they never
And I
stopped
don't
making
doubt
it.
that. I bet it's a great show. I don't doubt that it's good, and it's
It's-
something I probably would even like. But
I'm sure when Matt gets here,
Yeah, I don't know. He said he was already drunk, so who knows?
if he gets here, we'll end up talking about it a little bit. The last episode, but
Yeah, I don't know, man.
it's been a bad season.
I guess I'm a Game of Thrones apostate. I
Yeah.
watched the first few seasons and then quit.
Some people do.
So I don't know, like, if you try to like leave Islam, they fucking, it's bad.
But like, I don't think I'm cool for not have seen Game of Thrones.
just not
I
interested.
just have seen. I actually am interested, but once I found out everybody was watching it, it was already like dick deep into season 3. I didn't
Yeah.
even know it was a thing at the time. And then you look kind of like, oh, it's all hour long. You got to keep track. It's just I wasn't in the mood for that.
I don't blame you. I kind of wish I would have stopped watching. 'Cause season 8 was it had some good stuff, but it was terrible
The
writing.
best shit I got for not watching Game of Thrones though is when I went to Iceland on that trip, and then I forget who it was. Somebody at work's like, "We're going to Iceland. You don't even watch Game of Thrones."
Like,
Like that's the only fucking
Hand in hand.
draw to
You have to do
Iceland, is
both.
You have to watch Game of Thrones to enjoy
When you
Iceland.
buy your
Like,
ticket, they're like,
yeah.
"Do you watch
Yeah.
Game of Thrones?"
Yeah, the whole
No,
thing is
no coming Eastland.
Yeah, I don't want to go to a place where all the women are gorgeous and there's zero crime. I have no reason to go there.
It was a very nice place, but it's very expensive. You're not going to get a beer for cheaper than probably $12 US.
It's like a baseball game.
Soup, like a soup and a bread bowl, was like $25.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
It was like a baseball game.
but I would go back. And once you go someplace once, you kind of know the tricks to make it cheaper a second time.
Yeah.
So
Did
You
you
guys
go
are-
in their
You don't eat or drink.
geyser things or their bubble baths or whatever the
yeah, we went
fuck?
to the geyser, went to the Blue Lagoon, which is like the geothermal springs or a pool that's there, and that was really awesome. Just a beautiful country, just nature shit. As I get older, I don't want to go to, like we were talking about, we went to like Vegas and stuff before. It's like those trips are fun, but it's like being in your like late 30s, I just want to go see natural phenomenon. Like I've been looking
Yep.
into like Zion National Park and shit like that.
That'd be cool.
That's what interests me now, not just like getting loaded and people
You know,
watching.
it's funny you brought Vegas up. The last time I was on the podcast and I told you about that bum going into the,
Yeah.
he was right next to
The
me when
shrimp
it happened.
cocktails?
Yeah, it's a
Shrimp
shrimp
cocktail.
cocktail, dude.
13 shrimp cocktails to
Yeah.
go.
And it's the best. But the best was when he got pissed off that the lady wouldn't give him to him because it was $1 for the people staying there. He's like, no, you can't. Fuck you.
Well, that's after we were walking back at like 5 a.m. from
Yeah.
the Mandalay Bay or something, and that crazy like crackhead prostitute jumped out all scratching and out the bushes over there.
No, that's when I was coming back to the hotel. You woke up from passed out for like 7 hours.
Oh yeah, I
'Cause
forgot. I
you
kicked
pushed
that
you
car.
pushed that kid into traffic, and then you hit
Yeah.
the car with your fucking.
Yeah, they gave me like there's like this outdoor bar at Harrah's, and
Yeah.
they give you like a drink and like this tall fucking plastic cylinder. It's like a pog container,
Mhm.
and and they put like an entire fifth of like Beefeater gin in there.
Dude,
And I ordered a
it was
Long Island iced tea,
Yeah,
and it's
they-
like a
Oh.
3-foot tall glass of Long Island iced tea. I drank the whole thing, and then we're walking back, and I'm just blackout drunk at like
You
3 in the
had two.
afternoon. Oh yeah, because the strap broke,
yeah, and you had like just the bottom was just coated with liquor.
and they gave me a second one for free.
Yeah.
And then I slept for about 7 hours in the first day of Vegas from about 3 to 10.
Yeah. And then I passed out at Harrah's again when Steven
I had to wake you up to go clean your vomit off the toilet so I could take a shit.
yeah that did happen.
Oh man.
I was all
That did
I'm stumbling to the bathroom, and I turn the light on. I'm like, oh,
That did
like,
happen.
go clean up the toilet. I got shit. It's like Ozzy or something.
That did happen.
Oh.
Oh.
I've never been to Vegas, but I worked with a lady. They went for their anniversary or something like that, and they went to Vegas, and they went to a restaurant, and her husband ate not a rack of lamb, but racks of lamb. Like this place had this giant rack of lamb, and it was huge, and he followed that up by basically drinking a whole bottle of Jägermeister by himself.
Holy shit.
So he was sick afterwards, of course,
Oh no shit.
and she took him back to the hotel room. Was like, just sleep it off and everything. And then she went off gambling with her sister-in-law, I think it was. And they were gone like 4 or 5 hours. And she came back, and the room was just coated in like black sludge that came from his stomach.
Ugh.
He threw up all over the room, and they were leaving in about 4 hours. They had to get on a plane, and she had to clean everything up and get him ready and sobered up.
Vegas is fun if you've never been, but it seems like something that was really fun in my 20s, and it was fun last time when Janine just her and I. It's a good couples trip, but
Yeah.
you really just fucking drink all day. Like
Yeah, see, drinking that much and also heat just doesn't sound
Oh,
fun.
no, it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat though.
So is an oven.
Yeah, I went there in July, and it was fucking horrible.
Yeah, that's when we went.
It was
We went Fourth of-
absolutely
we went on the
horrible.
4th of July weekend both times.
We went the first time because we had we went and celebrated Vegas's birthday. Happy
Oh, yeah, we
100th
saw Chili
birthday,
Peppers and Weezer
Vegas.
for free.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, and the fireworks there.
fell on us.
The firework display they had for the end of the show fell sideways, was shooting fireworks into the crowd.
Yeah. and
They
then
also
just-
had to move the concert the day of. It was supposed to be in I think the UNLV parking lot,
Yeah.
blacktop asphalt.
oh no!
They decided that day it was a bad idea, so they moved to some soccer field, but didn't tell anybody till 3-4 hours before showtime. So that was fun.
That's great. That's good
It was a good
logistics.
Didn't Plastic get lost in Vegas?
He also was playing poker with Asian men who were speaking in their native tongue, which is not supposed to be allowed at the poker tables. And then he threw a fucking tantrum because he was losing every hand.
They were probably Yakuza.
I like to think that. Poker is no fun unless you're playing with friends, by the way.
I don't like poker.
I like
Actually, if you got friends like mine, it's not fun even with them. I was
No.
playing with Frank and his brothers
Yeah.
and them, and they got Jets Pizza. Okay,
Damn.
I don't care about poker. I don't care about cards. I know how to play, but I don't fucking care. And they said, hey, Mike, sit down and play with us. Come on, just tonight, just sit down. I'll go there and drink and socialize because there's a few people that don't play cards that are usually there too. And I just hang out with them, especially at that time. So I sat down and I kept winning. I don't care to win. I pay my $20 buy-in. I'm just playing to be friendly or whatever. And then they're bitching about you're getting grease all over the cart because I'm eating, the breadsticks. I like to eat. That's my thing. More than gambling, more than drinking, I like to eat. And I'm fucking sitting there playing. And they're like, and then Frank's buddy's like, this guy's an assassin. He's like, like I'm some card shark that's like pretending I don't know how to play.
And then you're marking the cards with the grease.
And I looked at him and I go, motherfucker, a full house still beats a pair. It ain't that I'm great. You're playing me when I play good cards. I even told them, like, I play good cards. I've told them how I play. And they're still, like, trying to beat me and losing. And they kept pitching so much, I just quit. I said, you can have my chips and everything. I fucking left.
It is amazing when you are playing something and you're doing good and you're turned off by other people, even though you're winning. Like, I'll play games with Janine at the house. Like, we play rummy sometimes if we're bored. And if I beat her, she just fucking loses it. And I'm like, this is no fun anymore. Like, I literally just write down that you won. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's just a game.
Shoot your shit over rummy.
Or what was all those times that we go to like the whirly ball and like some of the guy friends we have would just be yelling at the girls like, you fucking suck at this. Like,
whoa.
and it's like,
Wasn't it Hattie yelling
like,
at people?
it was like Connor one time. Like,
Well,
I'm like,
you
guys
gotta
are
get-
making
you
this-
get-
fucking moron.
I'm like, you guys are making this so unfun when you like, and then they wonder why no one wants to play. We're sitting there and they're like, wait, we need 3 more to play. Well, you've already yelled at everybody for sucking. No one wants to play anymore.
Look, I'm a competitive person and I like to win. But at certain things, not when there's women around or my friends. I don't want to. I'm not gonna fucking body check somebody's girlfriend over to fucking.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
have the energy to be competitive as I age.
Yeah, that all starts going.
Just all of it. just
I'm
all of it
40.
starts
It's
going.
you don't care. The funny thing is, like we were talking about this last week. Now that I'm 40, like you can actually be around women and not want to fuck them. You don't even care.
Oh.
You're like they can even look good, and you're just like, oh wait, you're actually a decent person. I'm listening to you.
Well, it's not even with women. Like I've stopped
Are people-
myself when we get together with friends and I realize we're just talking about home repairs or like traffic routes. I'm like, we're fucking lame. Like,
Wait,
lame.
Yeah.
it's health problems with me and my buddies. My back, my knee, it's all bad.
Well,
Yeah.
I try to have intelligent conversation with my 2 toddler sons because I have no human contact other than those two. And then I realized that my life is shit.
That's awesome.
Well,
That's sad.
I go out and try to force myself to do something about once a month just so I kind of flex that muscle a little bit because I don't really want to, but I know I have to because I don't want to be like person that like my mom's because she doesn't do anything and she goes, I'm so antisocial when I hear myself talk. I get scared by my own voice. Like my own voice startles her.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I genuinely like going out in public though, like at bars and restaurants and stuff like that. Like everyone has like anxiety or like depression now. And it's like I go out and everybody in the real world is like pretty cool. It's all like the online aspect where you see all the crazy. And I don't know if it's because people like know better to bring that shit up in real life or they really just it's not really existing. There's so many like outrage stories that I don't believe are real.
I think it kind of is. 'Cause people get a lot braver online than they would actually
like
be
the
in real life.
telephone tough guy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll say whatever
you
they
look at
want.
my girlfriend, motherfucker. I'm gonna break your jaw.
And then when you see them in public, hey man, it's great.
hey, it's Mike. Look.
Well, you just see like all these like outrage stories that like change the course of like things. Like I don't know anybody that's mad about this stuff in real life, like about any of the stuff you hear like people complain about online. Everybody in the real world's pretty cool. I think we all want the same shit, just to be happy and have a good time.
That's true.
That's exactly what an asshole would say. That's trying to take my rights. That's what.
I had a question for Jay, because you watch the wrestling. Yeah.
Wrestling.
It's terrible now, but I'm
Oh,
talking about like
terrible.
his like old wrestling.
We
Well,
talk
no.
heyday wrestling.
Actually, I was going to bring up because I didn't go to your house because I wasn't feeling good, but I still had the WWE network
Mhm.
for free when WrestleMania was on, and it was like 7 hours long, and it was boring. It was pretty
I
boring.
thought WrestleMania was awesome.
There was like
I like this
four
WrestleMania.
high points. After that, I was like, this is 7 hours, and it's 45 minutes of high points for me out of 7 hours.
Predictability is not bad in wrestling when you give the fans what they want. So like everybody wanted Kofi Kingston to win,
Yeah,
everybody wanted
and-
Seth Rollins to win, everybody wanted Becky Lynch to win, and they delivered all three of those. So it was like pandering to the fans
But then why was the Bautista Triple H match 25 minutes long?
because he's Triple H and the McMahons love themselves some Triple H
I know,
McMahons,
but-
and they're
And it was
egotistical maniacs.
why is this 25 minutes long? It was so
He did rip out Batista's nose ring though.
he did
Sure
actually
did.
do that.
Yeah.
That looked
As a
painful.
work or
I don't know. It looked pretty real.
I mean, he probably really ripped it out, but I mean, were they working? They weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Real
if it was-
confrontation.
Those guys are
It was basically
Pals in
Batista's
real life.
retirement match.
they could have marketed it that as that instead of just having the match and then announcing it after like
That,
Oh,
Miz
that was
my
match
last
could have
match.
been Miz's retirement match after that fucking fall he took.
Oh yeah, that was okay too. The Miz versus Shane McMahon.
That was a good match.
again though, Shane McMahon putting himself over talent
exactly.
on the roster.
Yep, and the way it happened. But no, I actually wasn't going to bring up WrestleMania. I just remembered that part. Did you watch the AEW?
I
No.
did not. No.
I
Was
heard
that
it's real-
yesterday?
Yeah,
I do know about it. I
Double
know
or
that
Nothing?
like Ambrose
What?
or his new character
John
is,
Moxley.
yes.
which I think was the quarterback from Varsity Blues.
Yeah, it was Johnny Moxley.
John Moxon. Yeah.
Oh,
But I'm like, that's Dean Ambrose. What's going on?
They
and then-
need competition though. Like
But I heard the show was really good.
yeah, and like I'm excited for that because WWF or wrestling in general was at its best when there was like ECW, WCW like pushing.
Oh,
each
the Monday
other.
Night Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, and all that, and it's
No,
like
but at
they're so
least
complacent now.
AEW has talent where like TNA really didn't have shit.
Although they kind of did the same thing. The guy that they signed, that was their big signing. That Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. I don't really know anything about a lot of those guys in there, but like my friend Jeff and a couple other guys like my buddy Andre, they all know about them. They're the ones that told me about some of the guys you see in WWE now, like Finn Balor.
Yeah.
All those guys are like big in Japan. And then they call like AJ Styles. I never knew anything really about him. I don't know. I just watch W because it's usually just my like throwaway to watch wrestling because it's just on. It's easy. I'm always
Did you see that Hornswoggle looking like AJ Styles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
picture?
that's so
Yeah.
fantastic. And I didn't notice that somebody else had already had already said that on. I'm like, dude, that motherfucker looks just like AJ Styles.
The
And then I saw the
phenomenal
caption.
half.
like they have a talented roster now, but I just think it's just boring and no one likes Roman Reigns. It's not even. that
Oh
he's-
my
hate
god!
Roman
And they've been
Reigns.
trying to push him for so long.
Yeah, it's just
He's the fucking Rock's cousin.
boring.
Yeah, but they kind of pulled a WWE move. They brought in this guy who has all kinds of hype that everybody's been talking about, the Kenny Omega guy, and they have Jericho beat him.
I think they're gonna.
They have a huge feud, even stemming from.
I think that sets up a third match
Yeah.
Okay.
for a tiebreaker.
But
Is what I
Doesn't
read.
WWE though live outside of all that? Like they're not going to talk about the Japan stuff, or it's like WWE. They even try to change the guy's name when they come over from.
No, Vince is literally insane. Like if you go read stories about him, like when they do the Hall of Fame inductions,
Yeah.
I think Vince McMahon doesn't want anybody to say his name in their thank yous and their like speeches. And
Well,
he got pissed about that.
Well, Triple H and the Generation X said we can't say his name, and they had the whole
yeah, like,
5-minute portion.
Vince has this like list of this like quirks and like I guess everybody like like when they do the commentary like Michael Cole and whoever else is there. Vince is in their ear the whole time
whole
they're trying to
time.
do commentary. He's like,
Yep.
say this, now say this. No, stop saying that. Now say this. Like, could you imagine trying to do commentary with somebody just in your ear fucking barking bullshit at you the whole time?
Well, and then who was the guy from American Gladiators who was doing commentary? Probably 8-9 years ago. Oh,
Gladiators.
he was on American Gladiators. He was the announcer on that back in the day, and then he did WWE probably 2010.
I know what you're talking about.
Mike Adamle.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
No?
I didn't watch wrestling from like 2001 or 2 and I graduated to like 2010 or 11. Like there was 10 years where I didn't.
So
watch
you
any of
probably
it.
started watching right after he was on it. But same thing. He did commentary. He was an ex NFL guy, and then he did announcing for the football, and then he was the host of American Gladiators. And then they were like, "You want to do wrestling stuff?" He's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do it. I can do that." And he was the worst ever because Vince is in his ear the whole time, and he said I couldn't concentrate. I'm trying to say something, and he's like, and he'd stop and have long pauses and not say what he's supposed to, and it didn't work out. Even Mankind or Mick Foley, when he
Yeah.
tried doing it, he said it was an issue
When they brought American Gladiators back like 10 years ago, that was awesome.
with Hulk
Like,
Hogan.
oh, and Muhammad Ali's daughter was
Yeah.
the other host. Like I liked that a lot. Like Gladiators it's just easy to watch and it was fun. Like they had a cool cast of characters. Like Wolf was one of the guys.
yeah,
Oh, God, Wolf.
and then
Mike
Michael
O'Hearn.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then Gina Carano did it.
Gina
Yep,
Carano.
Gina
Hot
Carano.
as fuck. What a
Christ.
babe.
But I tried going back and watching the original episodes.
From the 80s.
Yeah, the original
Oh,
episodes.
Jesus.
Dude,
Malibu.
It did not age well.
The
It was so
garbage
bad.
cans at the elementary over here look like the things that you'd put the balls. The Powerball, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Powerball.
Yeah. The garbage cans look just
They
like
do.
those things.
But it was so bad. I was like, oh, this isn't as good as I remembered it being.
I know they had all these badass names, and one of the chicks' names was Lace.
Lace.
Laser and Blaze.
Siren.
Siren was
She was deaf.
Siren was deaf, yeah. But
Yeah.
I went back
You
and
couldn't
watched.
hear a siren then.
I went back and watched some of the episodes. Like, remember, the guy from the Lost Boys was in a couple episodes. Billy Worth.
Billy Worth. Yeah, he beat the fuck out of them guys.
He
Billy
fucked them
Worth
up.
was actually a fantastic athlete. He was throwing around the gladiators, and he was like, he wasn't a small guy, but he was like 6'1", like 190 or something.
Yep.
And he was like just ragdolling Gemini or whoever.
He was actually in the Lost Boys, the
Okay.
movie. He was the long. He was a vampire with long hair,
Do you remember
They're all long hair.
dark hair.
He was there was
Who
the,
wants to know?
There's the dark hair, and then there was the blonde haired.
And then there was Ted or Bill from
Yeah.
Bill and Ted.
And
Alex
Queefer.
Winter.
And Queefer Sullivan.
Yeah.
Sullivan?
Sullivan.
Sutherland. Queefer.
Kevin Sullivan.
Do you remember the American Gladiators regular Nintendo game?
No.
And,
Oh,
and they had
I
the-
played
had
that
the
shit all
so
the
you had
time.
to take your middle finger and your pointer finger and double tap to climb the wall, just to do. And it's like your hand would just like carpal tunnel after like 30 seconds of that.
Oh, yeah, turn it on. Yeah, that's on a bit of a delay. I don't remember that game at all.
I kind of like miss the simplicity. Like you guys are all into video game stuff. Like I haven't heard you guys talk
Yeah.
about it last week and stuff. But like I can't get it. I think the last system I owned was Nintendo 64, and I would just play wrestling games and
Well,
San Francisco Rush.
I know he owns a Switch, as do I, and I'll actually on the Switch play the original Nintendo games. That's all I play.
That's all I
really.
do.
Sometimes Mario Kart, but usually just old Nintendo games.
Your Switch comes with an app, and the app is all your old games, Punch Outs on there, the Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, Zelda.
Is
There's like 50
Smash
games.
TV on there.
No.
That game was awesome, and I remember a game Jackal where you were a little Jeep.
Yeah, that's not on there
military Jeep
either.
that
I
would go
remember
around.
Jackal, yeah. That's not on there either. But Punch Out,
I want the old.
Is it Mike Tyson?
it's not.
I want the old Contra, the NES version of Contra.
No.
I'd give anything for that.
We were just talking recently with some of my friends about how back at Toys R Us you have to go pick a paper sleeve.
Oh
and then
yeah.
take it to that little room where all the video games were kept in like a separate place, and you turn in the slip and they'd give you the game there.
Yep.
Like a vault.
Yeah.
That was the
Oh,
worst.
yeah.
I never understood that.
That's why they're out of business.
Yeah. They're gonna come back, don't worry.
Like,
They will be back.
Jeffrey's Closet or something.
Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah.
That
we
sounds
were
really
talking about all
bad.
the things in this area that used to be like what they are now. Like I mean, like Children's Palace used to be where like Office Max was.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But you
Yeah.
guys are a little bit older than me. Do you remember a restaurant where Applebee's is at now that used to be called the Spaghetti Palace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right next to
Yeah,
Denny's.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that. At
It was
all.
like, but so I was reading something about.
There's a Pizza Hut over there too.
I guess I could have
No,
went
that's
the
what
other
Panda
way.
Express
I could
is.
have Tarantino this with the end of the story, but like it actually was a mafia
Yes.
ran place and a hangout there.
The
Yeah.
Tocos and stuff.
That's fucking crazy.
Yep. I remember Spaghetti Palace. Yeah, it was right next door to Denny's.
I watch a kind of a documentary on different mob bosses and mafia people that were like,
Yeah.
and I guess the mob here was the most one of the most successful because they didn't believe in that whole like being a goomba, like, hey, how you doing? Like,
There's
like
that-
stand out. They totally blended in, acted like we went to school with people that were related to them.
Yep.
And their kids, and they were no different. They weren't Jersey Shore acting like
They weren't New York
Italian. They
City
were
mob.
regular like American
Bibbidi
kids.
bobbidi.
They were like, hey, why don't you do a favor for me, Mikey? Hey.
Go get your fucking shine box.
Oh, it's my favorite part of that movie.
But yeah, they
ever.
totally just blended in. They were real intelligent about it, and they had a correspondence with the L.A. mob, which was also another kind of a low key.
Yeah.
But like all the featured shit.
Did
is,
they
you know,
surf?
the-
Surfing mobsters would be a cool movie.
Yeah.
I feel like Ernie Reyes Jr. would be in that movie, like Surf Ninjas.
There ain't nothing wrong with Surf Ninjas, man.
I don't remember
Yes
a single
and
thing about
no.
that movie.
Movie's terribly good.
It's still good.
Trying to think
Fucking
of-
Leslie Nielsen is a samurai
What
with
was
a
this one?
bionic face.
But yeah, we had a lot of that around here.
is that
Where
the one where his
the mob-
brother had like foresight.
Yeah, with the
With the
Sega
Game Gear.
Game Gear.
Spaghetti Pals. There was something else we thought of the other day too. That was near here that isn't there anymore.
What did Outback used to be?
Po Folks.
Ho folk.
That's right.
Soul food.
Yeah, it was Po Folks.
Get a Mississippi mud pie. Catfish.
And then back behind, or not behind, but next to, but facing Gratiot behind CVS was Burger King.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
It-
Wasn't that? It
I
wasn't
remember that.
even that long ago.
What about that
No, it was-
whack ass mall that used to be there where the road show was at? And then,
Shops at the top.
but it was like, hey, we're gonna throw 6 jewelry stores, the worst Coney Island you've ever been to, and then the road show.
At one point, that Coney Island was the best. I swear to you, it was fantastic.
I would only go there for card shows. I would go
Yeah.
get hockey cards and
Comic books.
like
We'd go.
X-Men cards and
Yep.
stuff there. Yeah.
Wait, was that in the same plaza where like MC Sporting Goods was?
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
service merchandise where
Uh,
you
Dude.
want to buy batteries and you have to go
Hey,
to
I
a
worked
fucking
in
conveyor
service
belt.
merchandise.
I'm going
I
to give a
probably got
horrible
fired from
confession
there.
about that place in a minute here. But you guys
Shops at
go.
the top, or
That whole service merchandise and the shops at the top.
I will
all
tell
of
you
it.
this, not because I did it, but other people I knew did it, but I may have also done it. Service merchandise was the easiest store in the world to shoplift
Oh
from.
no shit! They had zero security.
Because there's no security at the front door, because most people, they buy stuff, they're going out the back door by the conveyor. So if you went in and you wanted to steal something and you put it in your coat, you just walk back out the front door because
Wasn't
there's no
the whole
fucking
concept
scanners.
of that store supposed to be like a showroom, like a Price is Right kind of like?
Basically, that place
Yeah.
sucked dick.
It was
It was the
really
worst
easy to
job I've
steal
ever
from.
had,
Oh, you did?
ever.
You worked there?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I applied there, and I swear to God, the test they had you do, the paperwork and stuff, there was like 180 fucking questions on that
I
test.
just got hired. No, I didn't have to take.
See,
a
I had to
test.
take a test, and I swear to you, it was 45 straight minutes, and they had 180 questions on this test.
Well,
Plus, then the oral thing where you had to talk to them too, the oral interview.
Yeah.
Frank
oral.
shoplifted from MC Sporting Goods and got caught.
Yeah,
Or was it Marshall's? Mall?
Marshalls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always thought that'd be a good rap name too, MC Sporting Good.
yeah, it would be.
So-
He did, but he also did. He did from MC Sports because he didn't get caught, but he was stealing from next. That's where he stole a slingshot from.
He
He
stole
re-
all the time.
He
when
just
was
basically reached
shopping.
behind the counter, slid open the case, grabbed the slingshot. And
How
That
many
was it.
people listen to this that you're just incriminating yourself and your friends?
statute of limitations. man.
This is 25 years ago.
Yeah, well, he's fine. Don't worry.
This is more than 25 years
I didn't
ago.
say his last name.
Yeah, there. Well, here's what I didn't do it, but I was a part of it. We were. This is so embarrassing. Okay, remember it was like back when everyone wore starters Raiders jackets.
Yeah,
God, yeah.
So a gang of us. This is when I studied the Wiggery arts for a year or two.
yeah.
And I think I was 13 or 14. We started
Wig
a
arts.
gang.
Yeah,
And
you
it
guys
was
did. I was
and
a
it
part
was
of
a
it.
few. It were like Jeremy, Frank.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people in it, but our leader, his name was Rob. I won't say his last name, but he was the leader. Remember his parents were deaf. You remember that guy?
Oh, that's a different Rob than I was thinking of. Okay.
No, but anyway, so he was the leader, and we had a gang, and we went around like harassing people, but never doing anything bad. But this is when it was bad. There was a guy there and his friend, and we went to service merchandise. I remember how they had the like car systems or radio shit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
speakers, and it was like you're separated from the rest of the store. No one could see what was going on. These two guys that were there, God forgive me, they were just standing there, and our idiots in our gang, fucking, we had red bandanas, and they punched. He just randomly starts punching this fucking kid in the face that was doing nothing, and he was scared because there's like 12 of us, and his friend was on crutches. Okay.
All white. Is the whole gang white?
The whole gang,
Absolutely.
the victim, everybody was white.
This
And
sounds like the
after
worst.
that, I never hung around them again. But I didn't do anything. I did the total like, what do you if you don't stand up, you're the problem or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I totally like was in shock because I was in a gang, but I didn't want to be in a gang. I was a pussy. And he hit this kid in the face a few times. The kid on the crutches was horrified because he's on crutches. He can't do it. He can't even get away. He can't even run.
Wow.
And they punched this guy in the face. I told the other guys like I don't want anything to do with this anymore, and I was done. Well, the next
you don't
day,
have to
the
get-
But
next
you're already
day,
in the gang. How do you get out?
but
Get beat out.
yeah. So the next
Jump in, jump out.
day, there's a big feature story on Channel 4 about suburban gangs, and the kid's dad's on Channel 4, like, kids with red bandanas came in here, beat up my son, and he's like telling the whole story. And I'm like, oh my! I just couldn't get rid of this horror that happened. I'm 13, and the kid's dad was like standing in front of the shops at the top, talking to a reporter. It happened right in here. There's these suburban gangs are becoming a problem, and I was like, oh my god.
And I swear, I think it was at that point, honestly, that all of a sudden 7-Eleven, you couldn't go in more than 2 kids at a time in the store.
Yeah,
It started right about that time because we were in junior high.
and I had nothing to do with those guys anymore. It was bad.
Well, there's that weird party store that's on not far from your house that is probably not open anymore. But
Oh, it hasn't been.
When I was in elementary school, that was the same way. I would walk home with a bunch of kids, and we would want to get like candy or a pop or something at that store. It was like, hey, one of you at a time. So there'd be like a line of kids out the store
Waiting
after
to get in.
school, just to wait, like you in, now you out, like back and forth like that.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. That place isn't there. My wife wants to buy it, turn it into a store again.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Do we need another store there?
Well, not like a party store, like a food, little neighborhood thing, mostly desserts. And
It'd be cool if it was like a brewery or something. That'd be pretty neat.
Ain't no, there's no parking.
Tom, were you ever in a suburban gang?
I was not.
Shit.
I
So
wasn't.
I'm the only one.
I didn't have a Raiders coat, so I wasn't allowed to be.
At the start. Well, here's another story that happened to me because I had that jacket on. We're walking by. It was me and Frank and I forgot who the third guy was. Probably Byram. But
Yeah.
I don't know. And this is violence upon us that almost happened. We would have deserved. We're walking and then we hear guys like standing by a Camaro, like burn out, like Metallica guy. They were older, so they were like several inches tall. Like, hey, faggots! Like what? And he's like, what do you got those jackets on for? Like what? He goes, are you wiggers? And we're like, no. He's like, I think you are. And we're like, oh God, here it comes. And they started walking towards us. He goes, I'm going to give you a chance and spare your life. He goes, I want you guys to run to 12 Mile and back. And I don't know why he said that. Like, so that proves I'm not a wigger. So we just ran to 12 Mile and just kept going.
Wow.
It was a
See, I did that. My parents went because
guys
of that.
with mullets, no less.
Probably because of that. Because all the little punk kids, the gang kids in the suburbs had Raiders coats. My mom won't let me have one. So she's like,
Good choice.
she's like, you can have, she gave me a catalog and I could pick any team. She's like, you want a Lions coat? I'm like, no.
Did you pick it out of East Bay?
No, I think it was on Spiegel. Do you remember the Spiegel catalog?
I do not.
It was-
I do.
yeah.
I remember that.
Do you remember how there used to be starter jackets that were long?
That's where my story's going.
Every once in a while, there'd be some asshole that had like a 49ers jacket that went down to like his ankles.
That's where my story's. That's
And I
where
was like, it was like designed that way. It wasn't like he had an oversized coat. It was purposely meant to look like a robe or something.
that's exactly where my story's going. So, so I didn't. I'm like, and it was. I don't remember what year it was. It was like 93. So the Chargers were doing well. Like they ended up going to the Super Bowl, the next Super Bowl. So I'm like, Chargers, that'd be cool. No one else has that. And I let her order me a Chargers coat. It was a starter coat, but it was, the puff jacket. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. And I didn't even really look at it. And then we got it. And it showed up. And it's like, I'm thinking it's going to be blue with some yellow. And it was like yellow with some blue. And then it was like knee length puff jacket. And I saw it and I'm like, she's like, well, it's not, it wasn't quite cold yet. Like she ordered it off season. So it got there just before winter started. So I didn't have a chance to wear it. And she's like, you can wear it, when it gets a little cold. I'm like, yeah, it's great. So I was like, there's no way I'm wearing that coat. So I went to school a couple of times. And I had my older coat and I kept wearing that. And then it started to get cold out. And she's like, you can wear this coat. And I was like, there's been a lot of coat thefts at school. People's coats getting stolen. And I swear there's a kid right by my locker and he had a coat just like mine and it got stolen. And I don't want that to happen to this coat. So my mom returned it.
90s fashion.
It was terrible. I felt so bad.
Hysterical. Like for people,
It was
that were our
ugly.
age.
It was so ugly.
You had like triple fat goose was the other coat that everybody like. You had to have a triple fat.
Remember
goose.
it came with a rape whistle in case you got jumped. You try to blow the whistle as the guys are beating the fuck out of you.
That's great.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
forgot about the rape whistle. Someone here. Oh, hand clock.
What's up? My dad returned my cat.
I yelled, I was like, someone here.
What's up, Gooey?
Just
But
too bad.
remember, do you remember in the 90s cross colors?
Oh yeah,
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
like that was white people's idea of what Afrocentric clothing would be, and it was just traffic lights and like Jamaican flags
It was-
and bullshit.
So it was so bad. Oh man, we're gonna hoe Frank out. Remember though? Was it Cavarici?
Z Cavalry.
No, it was Gerbeau.
yeah.
Martha Francis Jabro.
Their Gerbeau stuff, and it was really big when we were teenagers and stuff, and it became more popular. But then we went to Frank's house for something, and we were all gonna go out, and it was like this was like 99. It was like almost 2000, and we show up and Frank has a whole Gerbeau outfit on. I'm thinking,
He had to have gotten that at Crowley's, I'm guessing.
Yeah. That's not even cool enough to be retro. That's like too soon.
it was like it wasn't like a couple years. It was like 4 or 5 years since it had kind of gone out, maybe more. But I was like, I'm like, what the fuck is he wearing?
You know what else I kind of miss is gas stations selling knockoff brand stuff. Like the Marathon used to be on 12 and Gratiot, the Tommy Hilfiger.
His hat.
It was spelled wrong.
Dude, you still have, I think you still have it.
No, it's gone.
Your red wigs hat.
I had a Red Wigs hat made in Indonesia.
Red wig.
It
Red
had the
Wigs.
Red Wing symbol. It looked immaculate except for the
The
red
side
wigs.
just said red
In
wigs.
fact,
That's
I'm
awesome.
wearing it in that picture of me and you at the IROC where I got no sleeves and
Oh yeah.
I have the Red Wigs hat.
Oh my
on.
god.
Red wig.
That was the one I always think
Well,
of.
now it used to be like you'd sell like knockoff like Nautica bullshit or knockoff Tommy Hilfiger. Now everything is like vaping and CBD. Even like family video.
Yeah.
It's like all they market is like CBD. They don't even tell you what fucking movies there. It's just CBD. We have CBD.
Yep.
CBD.
Because
That's
no
what
one rents
Frank's always-
videos anymore.
Frank's always, but go to Family Video and rent this.
Oh,
Let's
I
keep
forgot to
them
tell him
around.
because we do have one locally, but then we had another one that was on the edge of our town and the next town. Oh, like 10 and Kelly.
We're
That-
calling them towns now, not cities. Is Boston?
Our village.
Boston.
But the one over there, 10 and Kelly, was going out of business like 2 weeks ago, which surprised me. A video store going out of business. And I was going to tell Frank, I'm like, Frank, they got video games. Just tell them really cheap. And I forgot to tell him.
Well, I think my favorite thing about family video is that like we've all rented porn at some point in our life.
They have the nastiest porn there.
Well, not only that, but you'd rent like at being the age we were, you'd rent a porn. You're like, well, I can't just rent a porn. Now I got to find some bullshit movie to pair along with
Yep.
this. And so they'd be like, all right, Critters 2 is due back Friday, and your other movie's due back Sunday. They would never like say the title.
wouldn't say
'cause
the
it was just
title of
So
it.
crass and
Do you remember?
kind of walk
For
those
a na-
shitty
for a
saloons.
place called Family Video, they had the dirtiest fucking porn.
Yeah.
And it'd always be,
Ever.
and you'd go in there like I would go in there with like friends or like girls. It'd be like something funny, like, "Hey, we're running a porno, we're hilarious." And there'd always be some like creepy dude with like that weird like varsity denim jacket that every dad had. He'd like, turn around and look at you like, "What are you doing
Alright,
here?"
what you gonna get?
I've never once rented porn.
I bought porn. I never rented it.
I went into a
I've-
porn
I've
store
read-
once with you.
Yeah, I've done it.
We went to Aiden
laughed the
Van
whole
Dyke,
time.
and I felt like I was in the wrong, just being like
It was the most uncomfortable place.
Yeah, I felt like it didn't feel right. I felt
No.
like I was like,
Why is
I'm not religious,
every-
but I felt like God didn't want me in there or something dark energy.
I
It's
just felt
just-
like I was walking into an old west saloon because they always had the fucking saloon doors.
And they never fucking oil them. They're always creaky.
It's probably so they knew what fucking perverts were going in the porn room.
Probably. I went to that one because I don't remember why we went. I don't think we ended up buying anything. It was just like it's like, yeah, we're brave enough, we can do it, and we did. It was the worst. It was so uncomfortable, but we laughed
I
the whole
bought
time.
backstage sluts.
But then I had to buy a Christmas gift for a white elephant at work, and I went to the one. There's one at 8 Mile and DeQuinder. It's still there, but it's just videos and stuff. But when I went there, it still had like the back room area where perverts. And I went in there and I bought a 3-pack of magazines, a little mini bottle of lube,
It's like super bad.
and then
Be so
I
turned on by
put something
your
else in the
lube.
bag too. And then I stopped at Walgreens and got like travel Kleenex, the little plastic bags of them.
Party time over here.
And that's what it was. It was I put it in a manila envelope, taped it up, and then folded it over and stapled it closed after that. So it was really hard to get into, and I just called it the party pack, and I put it in the white elephant. And the one church going person in my entire company, like he was like a deacon at his church, and he's the one that ended up with that and during the white elephant.
Oh god.
And he's like, I don't know who put this stuff in here. This is sick. I'm like, that's it.
Well, do you know that Phoenix
Did he
party
take
store
it?
that's over here on Gross?
No, I think he gave it somewhere else. Oh
There's, like,
yeah,
a
I stole porn.
Phoenix liquor.
I stole
Yeah.
like
They have this like real creepy selection of porn. and it's like it looks like it's from like the 80s. Like
It's bad.
yeah, and it's really like an awkward place right by the door by like fucking Big Mamma Mia sausage or whatever it is over there.
I tried stealing porno mags from there one time. I was like 14, and my friend who I was with, Joe, said that he's like, yeah, let's steal some porno mags. I'm like, all right. So I put them in my pants, and just before I got to the door, the guy was like, hey. So I ran out the door, and I went left out the door, and then went left again back into their parking lot, thinking, oh, I'll just go through the back and go over the wall or something. And I started going, and I would see the wall. I'm like, I'm not getting over that wall. So I turned to left again, went through the parking lot and made another left, and ended up back out on Groesbeck. And the guy couldn't find me somehow. I evaded him by making 4 lefts, and I dropped every single one of the magazines. So that's my story with that place. And no, I ended up with one because that's where I got Shave Smooth from. We talked about that.
Smooth.
So Family Video is going away, right?
That one did. I don't know about this one. This one's still
as a whole,
They're
they're
staying in business
They all
because
are.
of Frank.
well.
He goes up
and
there and
CD
he rents all the fucking games. The only person
yeah,
that
that's
does
where he
it.
rented a couple of games from and stuff. I was like, well,
I mean,
who
like
rents-
when we were kids, I remember like loving like Fridays because like my dad and mom would be like, let's go to Blockbuster, and you get like video games and movies, and it was awesome. But then it's like we're in 2019 now. That shit's
don't need it.
irrelevant.
It's just the way
There's
it's
one left in Bend, Oregon, or Eugene, Oregon. There's one Blockbuster video left. It's actually like a tourist destination now
Yep.
that people go there to specifically go and take
Check it
pictures
out.
with it and rent videos and
We had a bunch though. Remember, because we had Family Video, we had Hollywood Video, we had Blockbuster,
Mammoth.
Mammoth.
Video.
Do you
When we were
remember-
coming up over by
Video Vision
Video
Video
Vision was
Vision.
over here on Martin, and then Video Action was
was here on
by
12 Mile.
yeah, by the
And
party
then
store.
Video Action became Action Sports.
Yeah.
And they merged together.
Yep.
So I was just talking to Brandon Aaron about this, how he was big into, I was more big into sports than I was video games. He was more into video games. He was like, it was so annoying how my video game place started having pictures of like athletes and jerseys and shit. And
Yep.
then they moved over to by Meyer for a minute where that New Horizons bookstore was.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Got dirty ass.
That
porn in there,
well,
too.
they did. They're closed down now.
We
but
just talked about all this stuff, like all the places that used to be when we were younger. It's fucking like
Full
crazy
circle.
to think about it. Yeah.
It was like almost like that in the arcade. That was like an event. Arcade was like a bar with sober people. You'd go into the arcade and it was dark in there and it had like the vibe.
There was Olympia over on by White
and then
Castle.
Galaxy.
And Galaxy was the one that I go to with my parents.
yeah, but it was even more than that. Any place you went to had video games.
7-Eleven had a
7-Eleven
couple.
both of them had game rooms.
My
They
par-
had
my
that
parents
wrestling
always-
game I had, you could play up at 7-Eleven.
one
It's
here
on.
in Martin. We played Bad Dudes all the time.
My parents were always
So-
in bowling leagues when I was a kid. Like
And then bowling alley.
And,
That's what I was
and
gonna
I
say.
would, like usually my grandparents would watch me while they'd go bowling at night. But then sometimes I would, get the privilege of going to the bowling alley with them, and they would just give me like tons of fucking money.
Yep.
Just like go get some fucking skull stickers where you put your 2 little quarters and slide that thing in, or some fake tattoos. I remember that they had at Kingswood Lanes on Hall Road in Groesbeck is where they would bowl at.
Yep.
And,
Oh, yeah.
They had Rescue 911 pinball.
That sounds fun.
It was fucking awesome. Shatner's just narrating.
It was
the
like
whole
every
time.
Pinball is still viable.
Well, it
Still.
seemed like no matter what arcade you went to, though, even up until recently, if you went to an arcade, if it was just, they're all shitty, but because there's no good video games in arcades anymore. But every one of them still had the T2 pinball game.
Yes.
Yes.
Every one of them.
You know what game fucking rules? Hydro Thunder.
Hydro Thunder's cool.
Hydro Thunder is badass, and it's the best bang for your buck. I was reading about this. Like if you put money into it, the tracks are longer than almost any other racing games too. So you're gonna get like a good amount of time to play.
I was like cruising the world,
Yep, those were fun too.
but
Or the original Street Fighter with a pad you had to physically punch.
the first time speaking of Children's Palace, the first time I ever played Street Fighter with the things you had to punch to make it kick or punch. Remember that?
Yeah.
Was at Children's Palace. I was like 10 years old, and I was like, "What is this?"
Did you ever read about the Street Fighter movie and
We just talked about this yesterday on the way back from Chris's house.
how high and fucked up Jean-Claude was?
Yes.
And they were like, need the fight scenes to look more real. So he's literally just beating up Raul Julia, who's dying of cancer on screen.
That's so weird. We literally talked about this 24 hours
Why are
ago.
we all
This
laughing
movie.
about that? So
It's funny because my son brought it up, and we were talking about, and we talked about the coke and everything, and every country everybody was from. And then we got into Van Damme being coked up and
Yeah, they said they had
Raul
to, like,
Julia dying.
they had to piece together the movie because they couldn't get him to come, or a couple of the guys to come back from like the beach of just doing drugs and hitting on women.
Oh my god, it was such a bad movie. But
It was a terrible movie.
It's like, who can we get to play an American Colonel?
That's the best part about that.
Jean-Claude Van.
the
fucking
French
Damme.
guy played an American. The
He's
Hispanic guy,
Belgian, He's Belgian.
The Hispanic guy played a French general because Bison was supposed to be French.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The Australian played a British agent. Kylie Minogue played Cammy.
Did she
Yeah.
ever act before that?
Chun-Li was a Chinese person. Okay, that made sense.
Probably Korean.
Honda was a Hawaiian guy instead of a Japanese guy.
So was Yokozuna in WWE.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Samoan.
I can't remember who else was in the movie.
Balrog was a good guy in the movie. And he's a
Balrog
villain.
was a good guy. Yeah.
Going back to wrestling, so I just recently watched was it WrestleMania 8 where they had it outdoors in Vegas at Caesars. It was all
Nine, I think.
cheesed up with like the Roman theme and all that stuff.
I think it was
Oh,
9.
the Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, so bad. But the best part about it is Hogan definitely calls Yokozuna a Jap in the promo on that. And
He used to always say, call black people boy and do all kinds
the
of
best
stuff.
part about that is he goes,
Shine my
he-
shoes.
He cuts like the most obscure promo where he's just like, I'm gonna tell you one thing about this Jap brother, and he's like, then I don't care if it's me or Bret Hart. This belt's come back to America. Bret Hart's the most Canadian superstar on the roster at the time.
I think that was his last WrestleMania before he won over the WCW.
Well, what happened is Hogan has a black eye in that one, I believe it is, and it's because he got into an altercation with I think Macho Man behind the scenes.
Oh, probably over Miss Elizabeth.
Wrestling is actually more interesting when you read about the behind the scenes stuff.
Oh,
than
yeah.
it is
The shoot interviews
about-
are way better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who really hates each other? That's all I watch all day long is just the shoot interviews, and it seemed like the guys that were always the faces, the good guys, like the people that were actually the mean people, and the guys that always played the heels, like the bad guys, were the nice guys. Because I forgot which wrestler said it. I think it was Dan Spivey, because he was always kind of a heel. He goes, well, think about it. He goes, what type of person do you think is easier to be around? Someone that's just, willing to do whatever, or the guy that always wants to be liked? Who do you,
Yeah.
who would you rather, who ends up being the more shitty person?
Well,
The
that's
guy that
how,
always wants to be liked,
that's how Stone Cold got to be so popular. Is he had that feud with Bret Hart in the late 90s, and like he's the bad guy and Bret Hart's the do-gooder, and they would go out to bars and stuff, and Bret Hart like was super serious about the business, like didn't want to break character.
Oh.
And Stone Cold just like, fuck it, I'm going to the bar and drinking with the fans. So all the fans were like, yeah, we fucking like this guy. Fuck Bret Hart. Like we like the guy who's drinking with us and has a cool fucking attitude.
Well, I think, and because you had talked about before on the wrestling episode, how back then the most popular people that were actually turned out to be good guys were actually the bad guys. They were more popular, but they were the bad people, like the Stone Colds and stuff. And there was always, it kind of got to the point where everybody was like there was no real good guys. Everybody had a bad side to them back
They're
then.
all shades of gray.
Shades of gray. Now everybody's really boring.
The internet's ruined it though. We
Yeah.
know too much about everybody and
Yes.
everything to where there's no mystery, to where it's like we didn't know anything about Ultimate Warrior. You didn't know a thing about that guy. I didn't even know his name. We thought there were multiple Ultimate Warriors. Turns out there was only one.
Just
No,
one.
it was just Jim Hellwig. That's it. Yeah, well, the problem, that's the thing with, and I was listening to another guy, he has a podcast, and he was talking about, he goes, I don't want my celebrities to be accessible where I insult somebody and then there's, it's some famous guy, it could be Liam Neeson, like, fuck off, buddy. Like, he responds to you directly. Like, it's weird that we have this access to these people.
I prefer a little bit of mystery.
Nothing feels big or important anymore. Like we were talking about how wrestling's like kind of boring now, but it's like I can get the same satisfaction of reading the outcomes of the card in 10 seconds as I can of watching the entire 4-hour show. I get the same satisfaction of it in the end.
I can't remember what match I was watching on WrestleMania, and I was like, this should be more exciting. And I'm just watching, and I'm bored out of my mind. Who did Finn Balor fight?
Bobby Lashley. That shit was fucking
It was so stupid.
I went to go take a piss because I didn't care about.
I'm sorry, not Finn Balor, the Demon.
I didn't care about Samoa Joe versus Mysterio,
Well,
and that match was shorter than my piss.
It was, and I guess it was because Mysterio had hurt himself, and they gave him just enough clearance to fight for that amount of time, and then he basically got pinned.
Samoa Joe has a little Hinkle look going on right now with that curly hair and the mutton chops.
Well, and didn't Mysterio just beat him?
Yeah, he just won.
So he just won his title back.
Mysterio is so boring.
Oh my god, how is somebody that can do all that stuff so boring?
Because it's all like
no, I agree with you. It's
choreographed
boring
and like sticky. It's like going to see a band who like has like, for example, like I love 311, great band.
Yeah,
they do this thing where they do like their drum solo, and then they all come out with like they have 4 drums for all the other musicians to ditch their instruments.
You know what's coming,
and it's the synchronized drum thing, and it's like it's not even a piss break. It's like a shit break for me. Like, I'm gonna go eat a pretzel at DT, and then I'm gonna go take a shit while they're doing this drum solo because it's taken 15 minutes, and it's like the same sticky bit they've done so many times.
Yeah, I get it. I
just want to be entertained. You have to entertain people just on a basic level.
Well, it goes twofold because think about, like we were talking about, like internet's kind of like making everything seem not as important or fun, and it's like setlist.com. Like, you can go see what bands are playing. Used to, like, your favorite bands come to town, let's go see the show. Oh my god, they played this song. Now it's like I go on that website to see what the band is playing to know if it's worth my time to even go to the concert.
I get that. It's just like a comedian. Like, if you see their thing on Netflix, you're seeing the same show when they come to town.
Yeah.
It's nothing different.
And I didn't realize it till way too late, but like I never understood people that would like go see comedians and want to hear the bits that they've heard, like these great bits. Like I always think you'd want to hear, but like somebody explained to me, like, you think of them almost like songs. Like, I want to hear this comedian do that bit because it's the greatest hit or whatever. But my mind doesn't work like I just want to hear.
No, that's the thing to me. If I'm watching you on Netflix or whatever it might be, if that's funny enough where you're making me laugh and I want to go see you, when I go see you, I want to see something different. You know, I want you suck me in with this bit, but I want to see something new when I go see you.
Weird, though?
Like, and it's been like a year.
The one guy that, like, I thought he did it pretty cool because he just admitted it, like, flat out. He goes, all right, this is my most famous bit. I know you guys I'm just gonna do it for you. Some of you that don't want to hear it because you heard it a million times, I'm gonna do it. And Ron White did this. I got kicked out of a bar. He goes, I got kicked out of a bar.
Yeah.
But he preferences, like, I'm gonna do it because I know half of you want to hear it and half of you don't. But I'm just gonna do it.
It's just to me that's I want to see. You sucked me in. I liked what I saw, so I'm gonna pay money to see you. But I already saw this for free on Netflix, or for my $15 a month on Netflix. Why am I going to see you again?
Wasn't that weird though? How when you go see a comedian, you want all new shit, and when you go see a band, you just want all the familiar shit.
It is
it's
weird.
Fucking
actually.
weird when you think about it. Like,
I wanted to see Patton Oswalt when he was just here, but I forgot the tickets seem ridiculously overpriced, and it's probably like you said, it's all me that shit that he just did on his last Netflix special.
Well, that's what we did. It was a couple of years ago, and we saw. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of Sebastian Maniscalco's. Not his first bit, but like second or third one. He's like on his fifth special now. I was like, that was funny. We should go check him out live when he comes to town. Same thing. I look at tickets, and tickets were anywhere from $40 to $85 for this guy I'd just heard of. So I'm like, I don't know. Want
tickets for everything are so expensive.
And it was
now.
at the Fox.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess it'd be okay. And then I was like, but he's probably doing the same thing we already saw. Why do I want to pay to see that? That doesn't make any sense to me. But I know some people do. Craig and Amanda will go see stuff.
Louis CK's one that was really, really good about having new material every year, and that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Chris Rock talking about that. He thought Louis was the most amazing guy because it's like, this guy's writing, an hour and a half of new material, which, I mean, you're editing down hours and hours to get that set down. And it's like, that's crazy. And it was all funny. Louis was funny until, and that's one thing I'm curious about is if he's ever going to come back. Cause like, he's kind of in a strange spot where if he pokes fun at the allegations against him for the, hey, I'm going to masturbate in front of girls.
Yeah.
Like, if he pokes fun at it, he's not taking it seriously. He's a dickhead. But if he doesn't talk about it at all, he's not acknowledging it. He's a dickhead.
Yeah.
So it's like, he can't win.
Well, I know he had some impromptu sets he did a couple months ago trying to kind of get back into it. And he kind of went off on people and it didn't work out very well. So,
but that's the thing now. Now what happens is when the pitchfork mob comes and they take a guy like Louis, the next time he wants to like come around, the fans are not the only people going to see that. You're getting the people that want to get tickets to fucking bitch him out or like boo him. It's like these people are insane.
Heckle. They want to heckle.
Well, it's just insane. Like, but even it could be like a band. Like, if there was like a musician that had the same allegations against him, it's not just the fans that are going to go see it. It's going to be people like, let's get tickets to go protest this. And it just turns into a whole fucking shit show. You can't enjoy anything.
Yeah. And then you're also buying tickets for this guy you're still supporting this guy that you want to protest against if you're buying tickets for.
Well, that's the whole, like,
so he's still getting his money.
The whole, like, social justice warrior white knight thing is all these people in their heart of hearts think they're doing the right thing a lot of times. And it's like, it's so counterproductive. Like, but I mean, their heart's in the right place, but it's like, I don't know. It's just so fucking weird.
I don't understand it. Like let's pay $50 to go protest this person.
People need more hobbies or problems. Once you have hobbies or shit starts going wrong in your life, you don't have time to worry about this bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
You don't have time to go fuck with people if you get some sort of autoimmune disorder, something that fucks your life up. Then you're like,
well, I think about that because there was like that story maybe a year ago now, but there was like a little black kid who was a model for H&M, and there was like a monkey on his shirt with like a little saying.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's racist. I mean, I just saw a kid with a shirt with a monkey on it. All the people are saying it's racist. Aren't they kind of the ones that are the problem? Assuming that that's like racist? Like it's just so
I know.
weird.
I agree.
don't see that. Like my mind doesn't go that way. Where the first thing I think about is like, how can I look at this as something offensive? I just see a kid with a fucking shirt with the monkey on it.
Yeah, I mean, your kids are still younger, but like when my kids were young, they had all kinds of different characters on their clothes. You know, that's the way kids dress. You always have something on your clothes. They don't make anything that's blank for kids. It always has something on it.
Well, even if we talk, you see these people like we can't even talk. Like you'll be like, so yeah, I was at this walking down the street. I saw this black guy. Black guy, like whispering, like, why are you whispering? He's a fucking black guy. like just calling a black guy is not inherently wrong. It's a fucking fact. Like it's just so weird. Like, shh.
Well, what catalog was it that had the ski mask that was black with the red outlined eyes and red outlined lips in it, and so it looked like you were black faced?
Fuck, who was
It was
that?
just recently too.
Was it East Bay?
No, I honestly think it might have been H&M or something like that. They had this ski mask and it was just black, and you pull it over and you basically have these big eye holes and then big huge red lips around where your lips should be, so it looks like blackface. And I guess
H&M is really good if you want dress clothes that fall apart after washing them twice.
I've never been inside an H&M.
Don't waste your time.
No, I won't.
It sucks.
Because I'm guaranteeing right now that they have nothing there that will fit me. Yeah. So I won't go there. I'll go to the Destination XL or something. Or
I don't even know what that place. I don't know.
That's a big and tall store.
Oh well.
Yeah, there's one at the mall, right?
I don't go to the mall.
Well,
I drive by the mall.
Chipotle.
That place
Is it?
The place
Okay.
is terrible.
Chipotle?
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like Qdoba. I think those are both garbage.
Qdoba.
I loved Baja Fresh, and all those are gone, which sucks because those were fucking awesome.
I like
Chipotle's
Shit
okay.
out of
Qdoba's
fucking-
a lot better in my estimation.
What's that chicken that's cube that just looks like it's been sitting there for 3 days that they put
It's
into
just
the
Chip it.
Yeah.
There's this thing
Pollo.
called a knife, and you can cut it.
Pollo.
Wait, where at?
at Qdoba? Like
It
that
comes
chicken.
out of the-
I don't know about Qdoba, Chipotle though. They're grilling that chicken that right then. I always see them grilling that chicken.
Or
It's fresh.
They have it like in a just chopping at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thing is, when you go to any restaurant, you got to like give them some leeway because it's not. They're gonna cut corners some kind of way
They got to
make a profit. Usually, it's actually soft drinks. They make their money a lot of times just on. They'll have all this shit here to draw you in, but they really make money on the pop because you get like 30% like pop in a cup.
Yeah.
You know?
What about when we went to go see Steve at Western when he was in school, and you're throwing up your order in the drive, like, I'll take 3 bean burritos. Just fucking,
You were throwing up while speaking?
yeah,
Dude,
while
that
sneaking
was
in the drive
shit house.
So Steve at the house, it was like your typical. They weren't a frat, but it was like a frat house, 4-level
Set up,
house.
yeah.
And they had a funnel at the top of the the outside
Yeah.
floor deck, and a hose that ran all the way down. And he's drinking this pre-made Long Island iced tea called like Wrong Island iced tea, made with 151.
Oh,
and they're
God.
pouring
Was it
down, and
Staten Island iced tea?
he's just chugging it, and then it's like, well, I guess now they're all drunk. Let's go get some food, right?
Oh, that we also did. I did margarita mix out of that.
Yeah.
Fucker too.
Ugh.
Remember that shitty DJ? Like we'd sleep in that loft, and they had like a DJ with turntables
Played
and
at like
everything.
8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and everyone's sleeping. He's like, just still fucking like go
By
to
himself?
sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're all
We were
on
all
sofa
sleeping.
beds.
That's
and
dedication.
sitting
Oh,
back
he
trying to sleep.
Fucking
Lance was
Adderall.
like,
And that
shut
guy,
the fuck up.
that guy was doing pumps of Adderall. He had to be. I'm gonna stay up.
And
That's
then
great.
we fall asleep. We're like, now most TVs and like devices like turn off if there's like inactivity.
Yeah.
But like Steve's DVD player,
That's
they
right.
threw on like Van Wilder, and I just remember laying there like in that
Oh.
drunk comatose state and just like, well, I'm bouncing off the walls again. Whoa, just like that song playing on loop because no one had the energy to go take the remote and turn it off, and just sitting there just like misery. Like,
Oh, that's great.
I'm not trying to one up you. I'm actually going to one down you because it's even stupider. We had a remember that we were talking about my band I was in with the guy that had the Gallagher haircut.
yes.
Oh shit!
yeah.
Yeah, that
Jeff.
dude. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about him.
And he brought over his recording of our song. He finally mastered it. He wanted to show us his, but it was like really super late, and we were at the Fraser house, and we were fucking hammered. And he played this song, and we were so hammered that he's just like, "I want to show you it." And we passed out, and I woke up like the next day with my own song that was shit playing over and over again. Like my band's like, it's like, oh my god, it's like it's still. So I must have been sleeping through 8 hours of my one
your own
song. That wasn't even a good song. Home recording, no less. It's like, gee, at least you had something professional to listen to.
So if you go to practice next time, like, let's play this song. Fuck that song. That's great. Oh man, you made me think of something though when you talk about the funnel at the frat house. Wasn't anything I witnessed personally, but it was an issue of High Times I read, and these frat guys built, which I read all the time. High Times, I read it like once, and it happened to be this one. They built a bong that went through all the floors of the house, and it had different, I don't know what you call the thing when you pull it out, but it basically you could take a hit off this bong from any floor of the house. They had the tank in the basement, and then a tube that went up through all 3 floors to the top, and you basically would light it, and when it was lit, you could walk up to it and just take a hit off of it.
Interesting.
High Times, man.
Was somebody always down there, like stoking the fire?
Well, it's a frat, yeah. They might have just hooked up to the boiler of the house. Who knows?
True confession, I'm 36 and I've still never smoked marijuana.
You too.
You ate it though,
Both-
haven't you?
I have eaten it, and I actually don't mind that. I just don't like the act of smoking anything, like except meth.
I've never ate or smoked. I did any kind of narcotic or.
If
weed or
anything, he got
anything.
contact high, and that was about it.
No, they had those brownies at
Ah.
camping, and I got destroyed. Like I
heard that's the worst way though. It's the most like intense.
well,
That's what I've heard.
The other thing too is they were delicious brownies, weed aside. So
It's
I'm
like-
just ready to destroy them.
Well, there might be weed in them, but they are brownies. I gotta eat them.
I remember because we were sitting there and they were making food inside the house where we were like staying up north, and I had that, and I just was just staring at the fire, and then someone took a big log, like a base log, and put it in there, and it had 2 little like notches of branches on the side, and I'm just like, that's fucking Frankenstein's head. It's fucking Frankenstein's head. Those look like the bolts sticking out of the neck. I
That's
get like
fantastic.
yeah, I just have no desire to smoke anything, and it got to a point too where it went so long where now it's almost like not like a badge of honor, but it's like, how long can I go without?
Yeah.
I've also never shaved with a razor,
No,
only electric or clippers and stuff.
really.
We were talking about that at work one day about all the things that you have never done that seem like commonplace.
Yeah.
I never really started growing facial hair until I was like late 20s, anyways, though. And even now, it's kind of pathetic.
I
still,
have
so.
to do both. If I do clean shave, it's like the electric razor won't work.
I went on a plane once to Vegas.
You've only been on a plane one time
Once.
Loser.
I've seen the ocean once.
while you were in the plane. Oh no, you were in Vegas. You said
No,
yeah.
yeah.
When your sister lived in the Carolinas.
Yep, and I went and saw that, and that was it. I haven't done a lot of travel. I don't really care about travel.
To
at
take a
all.
page out of Mike's book, I'm going to one up you. I've never been in a plane.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never flown.
but you've been further. Is Florida further away than Vegas? Though
No.
no.
Because a flight to Vegas is like 4 and some change, and a flight to Florida is like 3.
We basically, when we went to Florida, it was about 1,500 miles. Vegas is over 2,000 miles.
So the furthest south I went was Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
The furthest west I went was Vegas.
Yeah.
In a car, the furthest west I've been is Grand Rapids.
I've been to Chicago. That's the furthest west I've been.
But
I've been halfway
Been
through
in the-
Pennsylvania, the east.
Why don't you travel?
We don't go anywhere, first of all.
Why don't you? Do you not want to? Or
no,
both of you
I have
guys?
I have no desire. To
No, I
travel.
want to.
I can't wrap my head around that because that's all I want to do now. Because I don't spend my money anything other than a trip, like
Yeah.
or vacations.
And I'm not throwing it back in your face, but
No,
I
my
have,
stuff
also
is
have 2
there.
kids, so trying to get enough money where I
No,
can.
I understand.
Yeah.
I just don't
It's
have.
tough.
I did all my stuff's here, So I don't
No,
know.
believe me, that's like one of the things I always wanted to do was, and we planned it. A couple years ago, we were going to go camping at the Grand Canyon,
Mhm.
and something happened, so we didn't end up going. I don't remember what happened though. But either way, I was like, it's like we had like 10 days. I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. This is the route we're gonna take. The first day, I'm gonna drive all the way through to El Paso. I was gonna drive nonstop till I got to El Paso.
What's that, like 12 hours?
19.
19? Oh,
19 hours.
Spanish for the pass.
And then after that, from there to the Grand Canyon's 8.5 hours.
Yeah.
So basically, we take most of the driving done in the first day. The next day, we're getting there around 3 in the afternoon. We could do our stuff. We're there for check-in, whatever we want to do. And then I had 7 or 8 more days after that. And I was like, well, when we come back, I'm going north and taking a more north route back. So I was going to hit like 17 states on this trip.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is awesome. And wife's like, why don't we just fly? I'm like, cause I've never been to these states. That's why I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to
can't
drive.
be in a car. Like, I think my limit's probably like 8 hours, especially if I'm driving.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. Like,
The bottom starts to fall out about then.
I guess,
It does.
I don't know, I think I could do it.
I really do
I've never
like
tried.
driving while I'm on vacation. Like, I hate driving around here because this area is.
Yeah.
I don't know how and when we decided to have every road under construction, but it's insane. But when I'd go on vacation, I love driving. It's almost where we go places that are so beautiful, like Oregon or Hawaii, where I'm driving and I'm not paying attention to the road. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking crash this rental car
Yeah.
because I'm just like, oh, this is beautiful. It's amazing out here.
Parts of Oregon look like the Shire.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
amazing looking.
crazy. And or some
What
of
the
the
hell's the Shire?
it's from Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Lots of trees and shit.
Oh, yeah, I don't
A lot
the
of
hills.
midgets.
But it's very foresty
Yeah,
in Oregon.
it was really nice there. Like the Pacific Northwest is cool. We decided we wanted to go to Seattle because we actually have that Delta Sky Miles card where it's like buy one get one free continental U.S. flight.
Yeah.
So like let's go to Seattle, and I'm like, well, if we're gonna go to Seattle, let's just go to Oregon also. So we drove the 3 hours and then left the car in Oregon. It was nice.
That's nice. You see, I would like to do that. We have a cousin who lives in Seattle and runs a chain of restaurants.
We went and saw the Cobain house where he killed himself.
Where Courtney Love killed him.
Where he started a shotgun.
It essentially is Grosse Pointe where he lived. It's nice. It's really, really nice.
No.
Right on the water.
Yeah, I heard he was wealthy. Is that true?
Yes, he had some money.
He sure didn't dress like it. But...
No.
No, I guess the only thing I want to do, I have one bucket list thing. I want to go to England and I want to participate in a hooligan fight at a soccer match.
Okay. That would be
That's
cool
just what I
too.
want to do. I want to get drunk. I'm gonna go there and I want to pretend I'm part of whatever firm.
You sound
I
like
wanna
Swanson from
and I want
Parks
to
and Rec.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to fight another firm.
Yeah.
And then I can die.
What's he when
Gonna
Offerman
sing the
goes
song
to
from
England?
Green Street Hooligans.
There's a clock. They don't have this in America. Just looking at Big Ben.
Yeah.
Clock.
That was actually one of my favorite parts where she oh my god, what's her name?
Leslie Nope.
Leslie Nope. Oh my god. It's my favorite show and I couldn't think of her name. Where she basically got him, they're about to get ready to go back to America. And she's like, well, nope, I bought you a trip. And he goes on this like adventure through all of England and Great Britain and ends up at the Lagavulin where they make the Lagavulin scotch.
Yes.
Or what was it Lagavulin?
I know I don't remember the exact liquor or whatever, but I know what you're talking
It
about.
was one of them. And he got off the train and he walks towards the water and he sees it and he's like almost crying because that's where scotch is made.
Yeah. Well, I made you watch. Like Offerman is like one of my favorite
Oh,
stand-ups,
that
but
one
not
man show he
because
did?
not because he's the funniest guy, but like the way he talks and explains
He's like
things.
a real dude.
Like you just can't not get on board with his message. And it's
I
more,
like him.
It's almost more like a I don't know, like a spoken word kind of like motivational speech that's funny than it is a straight up comedy show like that. What was it? American Pig or something was the one that he had. American Ham on Netflix. It's so good. Like everything he says, you're like, yeah. You're like, I want to fucking vote for this guy.
He's a good guy. Him and the commercials, him and his wife are crazy together. Megan.
Oh yeah.
I know. It's just when I found out they were together, I'm like, it's weird, but it makes fucking perfect sense.
She's 10 years older than him or something too.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's really funny.
I like Parks and Rec because of him. Not so much the other. What's the guy? Everybody likes Andy from the show, but everybody likes Swanson too. But
I think it was a missed
Chris Pratt's
opportunity.
Andy, isn't he?
Yeah, that they never had like a arc where the Office cast and the Parks and Rec cast had maybe like a 4-episode thing together.
Oh, I wish.
Like they should have had it where like the Jim or something Office gets like, oh no, I got a great new account from some city office in Indiana.
And it's not that far apart.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania,
like-
Indiana isn't bad. That
and
could
then
work.
just have those characters like interact together and stuff.
Same creators.
Yeah.
I remember in Melrose Place, merged with 901
2.0.
90210 for an episode. That'd
Did
be
it?
that big.
It
Yeah, it was
back
like
in
one
the
episode.
early 90s.
Hmm.
Because they were in the same city, obviously, or same.
At one point, they were talking about having the next Men in Black movie be 23 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Oh God, I remember
So
that.
They would have had like Channing Tatum, which is the most bullshit name ever, and Jonah Hill
It's his real name.
be MIB.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
But then they scrapped that, and now you're getting Thor and
The
the chick
Valkyrie.
from Westworld.
She's also in Thor.
She's also in Thor.
Yeah, I actually
Ragnarok.
I just watched the Ragnarok because everyone told me how good it was, and I
That
actually
movie's
liked it.
hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I almost-
I haven't
It's
watched it.
basically
I still is it on
Guardians
Netflix?
It is.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch it when you guys
Dude,
leave.
they just turned Thor into Guardians 3. It's
I
basically what
love
they did, which
who
was
the fuck is
awesome.
the Rock guy? What are you talking about? His stepdad, Dave, or whatever his name was?
Yeah, that's the
Or
dude
no.
that directed that movie.
Yeah, I know. It was. What's the character's name though?
Korg.
Korg. When Korg, when Loki starts to disappear, it's like damn ghost, and he like runs at the wall and kicks at the wall. It just cracks me up every single time.
That movie's so goddamn funny.
I loved it. Craig was like, it was too funny. I'm like, what? How can something be too funny?
Okay, I understand what Craig was getting at because in that movie, your world is being freaking literally torn apart, and all you're doing is cracking jokes.
Yeah.
But the movie's fucking funny as shit.
Well, I know like Morgan didn't like it because he thought that they basically just made the Hulk like an angsty teenager. He's like, no, I don't want to do that.
He's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
He's a big rage retard.
I've only seen probably not even a fourth of the Marvel movies, and of that quarter, I've probably only liked half of them. Not that I
I
disliked
just
them, but
downloaded all
they
of
just
them,
don't-
So I'm going to Disney prison.
they just don't do
Probably.
anything for me. Like I like the Guardians movies a lot, and I like the Iron Man movies in the order they came out. I thought they got worse. as
One
they
was
went
good.
along.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I know there's people that think that two's better. I'm like, no,
I
one,
mean, I like two, but
One
What's
and
the one
two
with
and
Mickey Rourke?
two.
That was okay.
The third one was
I
so
want
lame. How
my
you had this
Bart.
awesome villain in Ben Kingsley, and then he
Just
just turns
fake.
out to be a joke.
dude, that movie was bullshit.
Is that? Are we in spoiler territory? Or
I don't think
care.
so. I think what's it been 6 years?
probably longer.
So no, I absolutely agree. Iron Man 1 is best, 2 is second, 3 is third. Absolutely.
Yes.
I think what happened to they look at the box office receipts, and that's like, okay, we're gonna kill off Tony Stark here.
Probably, yeah.
Well,
Because it's just the money. I mean, what did Downey end up with? 75 million from that last movie?
and
That's his
Just
pay.
that was just for
Hulk's not even
Infinity
gonna
War,
have a
right? He's not
movie, so
even
we're gonna make
counting what he
him
made off
nerf-
No, that
Endgame.
was just for Endgame. It was 75 for both movies. $75
Oh,
million.
wow.
We were talking about this before, though. Is he probably the biggest redemption tale?
Oh, yeah.
ever?
Oh,
I
I
mean,
would think so.
Yeah, because I mean, he was literally
Oh.
imprisoned for heroin. Like,
Yeah, he was rock bottom.
and he looked bad.
well,
Like,
they
real bad.
they found him in a room with a child.
Where he just fell
he
asleep.
went into a house, and he went into a room with like a toddler and like passed out.
in the toddler's bed. Not when he first said it, it sounded bad. Like they found him in a room with. A
Well, no,
child.
he
Like-
wasn't doing that.
Like,
He
oh,
ba-
I don't remember the pedophile
he-
stuff.
no, it wasn't a pedophile thing. He got
passed
so
out.
drunk he thought he was home.
Yeah.
But he's in a kid's room thinking he was in his own home.
And
was
that's
like a-
not unique to his family, right? Like his dad was a drug addict, right?
His dad. He said his dad was the first one that gave him drugs.
Yes, that's what I remember
Yeah.
reading about. Okay.
That's no excuse.
You know, we call that good parenting.
Like we're not talking like here's some
Jesus
weed, kid. It's like
Christ.
here's some cocaine, son.
Yeah.
He's like giving him lines to do.
Well, he's actually really open about he even says to this day, like all my successes, I still have that urge in my mind to do all the same shit I did before. Just he's in a good spot to.
He's
Well, he said
yeah.
his wife is his what's keeping them together. So I have a feeling.
Yeah, I think
something
he's
happened or
required by
he
law to
may
say that.
Spiral.
Like Corey Feldman and Drew Barrymore both were like partying when they were like 8. Like, with
yeah.
like
Well,
Hollywood people,
Well, you gotta
and they
think about-
came out of it like and
Well,
how they
Barrymore
did it.
came out of it.
I would
and
think
then
yeah, but she's a
Feldman's
pretty good
kinda
redemption
fucked.
story too.
I feel bad for Feldman. I really do because that dude's been trying to blow the cover off the Hollywood pedophile stuff, and he's gonna fucking get himself killed.
He's gonna die.
Yeah,
Well,
oh,
they said that's
he's going to
by,
commit suicide,
by
as I
Cornell
do
and,
quotes.
Chester Bennington are dead also.
Well, no, like Feldman and who's the other Elijah Wood, they keep trying to like bring this stuff to the public, and all everybody does is just make them look crazy.
No, like they said, like Chris Cornell was also trying to expose that shit too, and then all of a sudden he was just dead
Maybe.
in Detroit.
I never heard about that medication that he was on until that story Ativan or whatever. And
Oh, yeah.
I read about it after that because like we were talking about this. Like when you saw like interviews with like Kurt Cobain, you kind of checked out. You kind of knew like this isn't going to end well for this guy.
No.
And even like some of the other guys that have like passed away or died. But like Cornell was always like, yeah, we're getting ready to go on tour. Sound guy, like like a normal fucking dude. And that's why like the ones that like hit me the most were like Bourdain. Because I would watch,
Yeah, totally unexpected.
yeah, I would watch
Oh,
that, and I
yeah.
was like, that was like my idol. I'm like, I fucking love this dude. He just gets paid to travel and eat fucking food and just see the
do
world.
whatever you want, drink beer.
Yeah, and it turns out
Dude,
like
he was
that
the most
dude.
entertaining. He was the most interesting dude ever. too.
Yeah, he was like the most interesting man alive. Was like, and I love like, and he actually, not a lot of people know this, but he actually writes fiction, and he wrote like some awesome books.
Yeah,
like
so my
Gone
wife read his books.
Gone Bamboo and Bone and Throat are both awesome. Like they're just great fiction books. They wrote that
Sarah wrote, she read his nonfiction stuff first.
like Kitchen Confidential. Yeah.
But she said it was like just fucking funny. Like he was just talking shit about so many people.
Yeah, I miss that guy. Cornell, you're right. Cornell was a weird one too because everybody that went and saw that show the night before that I know at least said it was a fantastic show. He did great. Everything seemed fine on stage. Even people that saw him backstage afterwards, like everything was great. And then all of a sudden, like 2 hours
that's
later,
the thing, that medication, I was reading about it. It like zombifies you and makes you delusional. And if you have even like the slightest hint of like, everyone knows like when these guys go on tour and they're away from their families and their wives, everyone gets a little depressed about that shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess this medication can just take you to that. Or what's that other medication that get people to stop smoking? Chantix. That's making like people like get up in the middle of the night and like try to like kill their family members and shit.
Well,
I didn't hear that one.
Ativan is just in the family of Xanax or a Valium, but the way it activates in the brain can be bad.
Yeah.
So
he called his wife and she said he sounded really loopy and was like, then she called his assistant or something, was like, go check on Chris. And that's the guy that found him or something.
Yeah.
Thing is, man, I know it's bad advice, but I'm going to give it anyway. If you got a problem with anxiety or depression, it's probably best to just kind of lean into it. And because it seems like when you take some of that shit, people get worse.
It just intensifies a lot
like,
of stuff.
Or it'll help for a while and then it doesn't. Everybody I know that has done that, they're better short term. And it's great short term, but then they get to where they need more and more. It's like any other drug. And then it don't work at all. Then what do you do now if you were like sort of miserable and then now you're completely miserable and the thing that made you less miserable doesn't even work? Then they're in
That's the thing I laugh about, because like for someone like a celebrity or musician, they have all the resources in the world at their disposal. But for like a normal person like any of us, if you really have like a bad depression or anxiety, you want to talk to a therapist, that shit's expensive. And I don't know about you, but the stuff that bums me out the most is finances.
Tell me about it.
So it's like, I'm not miserable. I'm not depressed, but I'm saying if I was, it's like, okay, go talk to somebody. Oh, you charge $100 an hour. Well, now I'm more depressed because I have no money.
That is honestly, if I'm somewhere having a good time and doing stuff and spending money, I'm bummed out because I'm thinking, man, can I afford this? What am I going to do if I don't? It just isn't worth it. And so I'm completely bummed out the whole time thinking about my money.
Yeah, and that's why you hear everyone wants to give the advice, like, and I fucking hate hearing celebrities like, well, money can't buy you happiness. I'll be the judge of that. Let's try this. Every single one of my stressors in life or my problems is money related.
Well, I think though, if your basic needs are met, like you have food and water, like if you think about it like logically. And I'm not trying to defend spoiled celebrities, but I guess I kind of am. Like, what is your difference in quality of life compared to someone that lives in Beverly Hills and has a BMW? Like your car does the same thing a BMW does. Your air conditioning does the same thing.
Oh, but I think like he was saying, though, like when Brian was saying, like just wanting to travel, but you have kids and like money restraints. It's like there's things you want to do that money would let you fucking do if you.
Yeah, I do think maybe not directly buy me happiness, but money could definitely help me attain happiness.
You know how many celebrities straight up lost their homes in those fires in Malibu?
Yeah,
like people like Tosh, just tons of people.
It's
like
the dude from The Big Bang Theory. I can't think of his freaking name.
Yeah, they put a giant city in a fucking desert.
No,
that's what happens.
Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory. His house burned down. A lot of people.
Yeah, and it's like,
Don't worry, his $45 million will.
but that's what I'm getting at. That's
No,
your whole house can burn down, and it's a
he only made
because they have
only made
money.
22
Yeah.
million this year.
Well,
But I know that's what I'm saying. It's like you if my house burned down, yeah, I have insurance. I could probably rebuild it, but you can rebuild it any way you want. You could do whatever you want with your new house. Mine, I basically got to do whatever my insurance company will.
I'm just pretty
Do a
certain.
pool in your family crest.
Yeah,
It's like-
that'd be awesome.
Well, I'm just pretty certain that George Clooney never thinks about what he has to do if his furnace breaks down.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
he
the
just
shit
was
where
like, buy a new house.
yeah, it's like there's things like that where it's like we think about that being just normal everyday people, that those little stressors just add up over time where it's like,
yeah, and your nervous system gets overwhelmed at some point.
yes. We actually talked earlier, me and my buddy, about what's the sweet spot of winning the lottery where it goes from being awesome to being scary, like those giant jackpots that people win, to where it's like now I just feel like I have a target on my back and I'm paranoid as fuck.
Well, the thing is, at that point, then it's very common for people that win the lottery to end up broke, because there are people that don't know how to manage money in the first place.
Yeah.
So they take all their money and they think like, I'm going to take care of grandma, this and that. They say the first thing you should do when you win the lotto is just don't do anything with it. Literally do nothing. Quit your job, all that. Get out of your house, because the charities are going to be coming and you're going to get harassed. But you don't start going buying in Rolls Royces and don't do all that. That's what everybody does, though.
Did you see the guy that, because certain states you have to claim it with your name and a picture and stuff.
Most of them, there's very few that you don't have.
But
to do
that
now.
guy, all it said was you have to be present and sign your name. He showed up with a Scream mask on.
Yeah.
And like accepted the giant check with the Scream mask. He signed all the paperwork with the Scream mask on.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking awesome.
Because there's some old lady in like Vermont or something or New Hampshire where she didn't want to. She won a big jackpot, a couple $100 million, and she didn't want anybody to know who she was, but she'd already signed the lotto ticket. So at that point, you can't go back and unsign it. So she had to claim who she was. Then her name becomes public when she wins.
Yeah,
and there was a big, huge legal battle over
So glad that it fixed all the schools.
Well, all you need, if you want to raise money, you just need to have a historical church burn down, and $1 billion will be raised in about a week. Like, that's the other crock of shit. Like, all these fucking problems in a fucking.
I would really
building.
like. I mean, the lotto pays for less than 10% of our schooling. Michigan's schooling budget is $13 billion.
That's crazy.
The lotto provides just under $1 billion. Where's but that's the thing. They're selling way more and giving away way less than half. There's more money there. Where that's why I like know where the hell it went.
You ever read about the lottery in Illinois? How they don't have any money, like any winnings over $600, they're not paying anybody because they say we don't have the money to pay anybody. So there's this whole lawsuit now. And actually, one of my favorite pictures ever on the internet, and I'll show you in a minute, is this guy. And he was the first guy that it happened to. He showed up. He kind of looks like fucking Captain Kangaroo a little bit. And he won this like giant jackpot. He went to go claim it all fucking stoked. And they were like, yeah, we don't have any money for you. He's like, well, I won the lottery. But they made him take the picture holding the ticket because that's mandatory, is to take the picture with the ticket. But it's not mandatory to give this guy his fucking money.
How is that even legal?
Now he's a target over nothing.
So yeah, it's fucking hilarious. So this picture, and me and a couple other friends that I'm in like a little chat with, we have this like just slogan, like everything is stupid. Like every time you just read stuff, and that is the epitome of it. I want this guy's picture on a shirt, and I'll show you. And he's just standing there with his fucking lottery ticket, just like taking the picture that was mandatory. He was like, "Well, I don't want to take the fucking no. You have to take pictures. Like you don't have to give me the fucking money. Like it's so ridiculous.
How can they even get away with that?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have took the picture. But like, if you're not gonna give me money, I ain't taking the picture.
It's like if you buy like a 50-50 raffle ticket and then you win, like, well, yeah, but we already spent the money. There's no money left. Sorry. How is that? I don't understand that.
Also, when I was younger, I thought of the ultimate scam would be just what's preventing like one or two of us going with 50-50
Oh, we talked about
into a bowling alley, selling tickets, and he's already the predetermined winner, just milking a bunch of drunk assholes for their money.
No, it's nothing.
And it's probably happened before.
Did I ever tell you guys that there's different scams that happen, and the one I didn't know what happened. I knew something was wrong about it, and I didn't get fooled. But I was like 22, 23, and it was weirded out. I was out in Westland, Michigan, out of my route because I drive a truck for a living.
Nice area.
This fucking guy, these two guys come. He's like, "Hey man, I got some speakers in here." They're white, by the way. What?
I know which one this is. Is the rocks and the speakers?
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
goes, my boss came up to me, and he says, just get rid of these speakers. You can sell them for whatever. I just want them out of my sight. What is it?
It's the guy who won.
Oh,
They made him take the
louder
picture.
Yeah, and anyway, so this guy comes up. He's let me check it out real quick. He's about to fuck. That's how I would look. And he's like, he goes, my boss just wants me to get rid of these fucking speakers. Just go to your ATM. He goes, these are like $1,800 speakers. Just whatever you can get out of the ATM, $200-$300. Come back with it. I'll give you these speakers. And I knew kind of about sound. I'm like, I never heard of this brand. And he's like, all I'm worried about, you give me this money and there's going to be bitches with titties in my face. And he's like, this is a white guy too. He had that kind of vibe about him, like
you're doing white voice. It's still white voice.
And he's all hyper. And I go, I don't know, dude. He goes, oh, come on, these are the TR 5000. Like I'm like I've never heard of the brand, dude. And like anyway, years later, I'm talking like nearly 20 years later, I like the Midwest speaker scam, it was called, or something. Yeah. And these guys went around like here, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and they basically were doing that. They were like, I got these, and then on Drew and Mike, some guy was talking about before they went. He's like, he goes, I ended up buying the speakers. Some guy got tricked, and I was like, I got caught. I didn't get caught at it, but I got approached about that very scam. It was crazy. Like a famous scam, and the guy pinned me down, man.
Who impulse buys speakers?
No, I don't know.
That's something that you like plan out and go research. Like, I want these.
You should have see if he had like a blonde girl. Like, come on, Andy, you want to turn on her? Maybe then I would have been like, but the speakers,
you should have bought them. You've never heard of Suburban Vargas speakers?
Like, fuck this hot blonde, or they didn't have anything enticing speakers. It's like
Speaker City, Vince Vaughn. From
I can go to Walmart here and get speakers, man.
That's great.
I'm not like an audio nerd, so when people start getting all stoked about like speakers and systems, it all sounds like
if I did have the need to buy speakers for anything, I don't care as long as they're rated okay, but they're also the cheapest ones I can get. If I absolutely needed them for something, which I don't, I'd be like, okay, these ones look good, but they're $200. This one's $59. I'm buying the $59 ones because if it breaks, I'm buying another $59 one.
Once people start talking about like audio specifications or camera specifications, I'm so out of the loop on all that stuff. I have no idea what people are talking about. Apparently, when you have Spotify that you don't pay for versus the premium, the sound quality is different.
I've heard that.
I don't hear any.
I mean, I've heard of that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you the difference.
Apparently, the sound quality is improved if you pay for it, and I don't.
Well, we've talked about it multiple times now on this show about the difference between 1080p and 4K and the coming 8K.
Yeah, I know nothing about that stuff at all.
I have both. I have a 1080p TV, but I also have a 4K TV. And the only difference I notice between the two is one is bigger. And that's it. I can't know. It was picture difference. There's no difference to me.
Does your TV have a camera that watches you and sends information to the FBI or CIA?
No. My phone does, but my TV does not.
We all have that though, right? Where like your phone, like my phone will just be like right here on the fucking table, and I'll be like, hey, I thought about maybe going to like, Fort Lauderdale.
Oh yeah.
And then I go on Facebook in a couple hours and there's like ads for fucking
yeah,
Fort Lauderdale.
That's a spy device totally. That's not even a conspiracy theory. It's not like government control aspect. It's advertisers trying to like. I have like Line and Kugels.
Yeah.
I have no interest in drinking fancy beer or Line and Kugels or any of that. I went one time with Frank to pick it up, and we were talking about it on the ride to get the Line and Kugels.
Yeah. And
then on Facebook, I had a Line and Kugels. I've never bought it. I don't care. I have no interest. It's all
good
all
stuff,
that stuff.
I need a summer shandy.
And people always go on with the government. The government wants to look on what government wants to look into what you're doing. The government, you give it away. Everybody we give it away when we're on social media.
Well, I forgot.
Me and my girl are going here. We're doing that. Like you're giving it away.
I forgot who said it though. Someone's like, we are the product for corporations to send back and forth. Like we're not the ones, the consumers. We're actually literally the product. Like for all these entities.
That makes sense. Well, the thing is, they can actuary based on, like, say you got an Amazon account and you got a Netflix account. They basically can actuary everything you buy or media you consume, what movies you like, And then by that, they can almost with like, I think it was like a 93% accuracy predict what your next purchase is going to be. They just know because of the way your patterns of your life, of the things you do.
Here's my problem with that, because Netflix can't even tell me what movies perfectly match with me correctly. How do they get so close on what I want to buy? Like Indiana Jones and Last Crusade is a 55% match for me. Bull fucking shit.
That's the best of the movies.
That's a
isn't it?
99%
When you
match
say
for
that's
me.
the best of the 4, well, let's just count 3.
I guess I'm a sucker for the first one.
I like.
I love the
Temple of Doom myself.
to me it's 1, 3, 2, 4.
4 doesn't even count. That movie
Four's
sucks.
bullshit.
3 is my favorite.
3 is my favorite too.
1 is probably the second, and number 2, which I liked. You know,
I like Temple of Doom.
Hum Num Shibai. Hum Num Shibai.
2
That was
loses
our
only because that
fortune
bitch doesn't
cookie,
shut the fuck
Junior.
up.
She's horrible, and then she ended up marrying Spielberg afterwards.
She does not stop screaming for like the whole like middle of the movie.
It's really bad. What's her
Yeah.
name? Billy Teddy. What's her name?
Oh God.
Either way, I don't.
Do you want to eat some chilled monkey brains?
Yeah, and then the spiders and scorpion. I don't know. It was
That's
bad.
no fortune cookie,
And the-
Junior.
the-
I used to think that Temple of Doom was horrible,
Well,
and then I watch it now as an adult, and I'm like, oh, it wasn't
that
as bad
movie
as
was
I
a
thought.
total misrepresentation of Indian people because they're mostly like vegetarians. They like noodles.
They do like all the stuff like
Curry.
that.
They don't like chilled fucking monkey brains. You got to go to like the Congo for that.
Yeah. Well, where they were at, closer to some of the borders of the northeastern countries, Nepal, Tibet, some of that stuff, maybe.
I don't know.
Even that, but I hear they really like hamburgers in India.
Do they?
No, cows are
How's
sacred.
sacred?
Cows are sacred. That was a joke.
Oh,
They like impossible.
yeah, they have a
burgers.
town where they won't even kill the rats.
Yeah.
They literally have a town where they won't kill the rats, and they're going nuts, just running around like millions of them.
We do not kill things here.
We have a town like that.
Maybe
It's
think
called
of Bubble
Detroit.
Boy. Remember Bubble Boy?
With Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Don't say it wasn't.
Not good.
Where he's riding with the ice cream guy who's an Indian guy, and they end up hitting a cow with the ice cream truck, and he basically just has a funeral for it on the freeway. And he won't give Jake Gyllenhaal a ride anymore. Good movie.
Yeah, I've seen this one travel thing, YouTube guy, and he went to India, and he went to the worst slum in India to find their hottest noodles. And he's just walking around, and I got to give this guy credit because he's like from Scandinavia somewhere.
Yep.
And so he stood out like a sore thumb, and he's like just him and one other guy, and they're like getting surrounded, like, you know, not to kill them, but to like, what the hell are these two
What's this
white
guy
guys doing
doing, yeah.
here? And because it's not touristy there, it's like their hood.
Yeah.
And but it was a drink called Desi Duro.
Okay.
Desi Duro is like some almost prison style moonshine. These guys wanted the real thing. They wanted the real shit.
Okay.
And then they had it, and it goes, oh God, this, you know, it was like. But the thing was, the surprise was when they tried the street noodles. Okay, like they just, and it was like totally unsanitary looking, like fucking a shop with dirt.
Yeah.
And they made the noodles for the guy, and he's like, "This is actually fucking phenomenal." It's like
Probably the best noodles ever.
He's like, he goes, "These noodles are freaking awesome."
It's kind of, and probably not same thing, but like in from what I hear in California, when you're driving down like freeways in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden there's just a taco stand, and they're always the best tacos you can get. It's probably the same thing. You're not expecting it, and it just happens in the hoods
Yes.
of Bombay.
I just took a Ogre Revenge of the Nerds 2 level piss.
I was going to comment because it seemed like you were pissing a whole lot, and you could hear it out here.
The whole time I was in there was just full on piss.
And then I realized you drank 4 beers in a time I would drink 1.
No, 3. I just cracked this guy.
Either way. Oh, wait, those 16 ounces or 24 ounces?
16, but I've also just realized they have 8-ounce Coors Light cans at stores now for children. I don't know.
I guess children beers?
Yeah, children beers.
Well, 8 ounces
Small
is a
people.
serving. Maybe they just want to, people that are watching their calories.
It's Coors Light.
It's Coors Light. I know.
There are some filling, like we went to Ginny and I went to Embrew in Ferndale, one of our favorite spots, staying out on the patio, bring the dog, good beers, good pizza. But hot yesterday, and they have the Rochester Mills has their stouts, like cheesecake stout
and milkshake stout.
Yeah,
Those
all
shits are
those.
the best.
Oh my god, like that is one beer where you'll have like one of them and you're just so fucking full, like you feel like you just put on like 10 pounds.
Yeah. They closed down their tap room in Rochester, didn't they? Rochester.
I don't think so. He would
Still
know.
open.
Which one did they close down? Somebody was complaining about it.
That one brewery I wanted to go with to you that was in a barn that already is gone. Lucky
Oh.
Girl or something.
Oh yeah, it was
called?
Lucky Girl.
Yeah.
Yep,
That
it was.
the Rochester Tap Room.
And then they made it
was
Lucky
something
Girl.
else before it because I used to go to the fruit fucking
The farmer's market.
No, it was Papa Joe's, is some fancy ass
Oh yeah.
fruit store. And I forgot what the fuck the thing was before that, but then it was a tap room. I always wanted to go. They had like some feature on Channel 4 and the food looked fucking great. And then by the time I went to go there, it was already fucking closed.
Yeah, because it was something, and then they changed it to Lucky Girl for like a week, and it was gone
Yeah,
immediately.
it was. I don't understand. Like
A
what?
lot of guys in my beer groups were complaining about it because I'm in beer groups.
Well, I just don't get it. It's like
What's a
you're
beer
open
group?
for a week,
Enthusiasts of beers, different craft beers and stuff,
but how?
and they
how
talk
do
about
you,
the different releases.
How do you open for 1 week and then you're done?
Well, there was a brewery that opened in St. Clair Shores called Shipwreck
Shipwreck.
Brewing.
Yeah.
Can anyone say brewery?
Brewery.
Without sounding like Golden
Well,
Burbs.
you know that's going to be now.
Dragonmead.
Yeah.
That brewery was so bad. Like I went
Oh,
there with
no.
my brother,
Yeah.
and like the dude serving the beer, nicest guy ever, older guy.
Yeah.
But the beer was so like my beer was like an amber, and it just tasted like I was drinking a liquefied change.
Well, and here I can explain why, because they're opening a new one called the Copper Hop.
I know the person that's
Yeah,
opening
The
Jeremy.
that.
Dragon
Ryan
Mead people.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Ryan.
Talking about the Dragon
Jeremy,
Mead people.
Oh no,
No.
one of okay, you know Jeremy, but the other guy, Ryan, who's one of the partners, is my daughter's best friend's dad.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Was
but-
he Connor's friend?
Jeremy lived with Connor at that
Yeah.
apartment in Mount Clemens.
Is he the actual brewer?
No, he's one of the guys
He's
that's
one of
just
the
like setting it
investors.
up.
One of
I
the
don't-
investors?
Yeah.
The guy who's another one who's the investor, but also the realtor guy is Ryan. And he was telling me all about the Shipwreck guy. I said, really nice guy, but he was like, if you make Mr. Beer at home, you know those Mr. Beer kits? He was trying to do that on a larger scale. So he's using the same process as you would to make a home beer, but trying to use it in stills and mash and all this other
I
stuff.
make beer with my brother at my house. We have like a better system than that, but it's still like, boiling on the stove and all that. And I'd say 1 out of every 4 we make is terrible.
Well, this guy was trying to do this on a just basically
On a
taking
grand scale?
that formula and then trying to make it 10 times bigger.
It's not. Gonna
It
work.
wasn't working. So yeah, it didn't work.
And the guy had to have money because that's a primo location.
Yeah.
Like anything on that nautical mile is huge for real
So
estate.
did you say they're opening a Dragon Mead down there?
The Shipwreck's going to be Dragon
Are they
Mead,
moving the Dragon
No.
Mead? Or they just open a second
Good
location?
Second location.
second location.
Oh, not
And then Copper
bad.
Hop will be September.
Copper Hop is going to be across from Shores Inn.
The old Vitamin Village.
I remember,
Oh, okay.
I remember when I was getting a beer over there at Dragon Mead, just like the last
When
time we were
went,
there.
yeah,
And the guy serving us, I didn't know he was homosexual,
he was.
but he was literally a homosexual. And he
How does this change the story?
well, here's why.
Here, get so much.
And I was
better.
like, I hate thick beers. I'm not one of these like I need a man's beer. I'm not that guy.
Thick beards?
Beers,
No.
like a
beers.
heavy beer.
like a heavy beer. You can't grow a beard. You just told me that. Insult me. No, but seriously, so give me the most. What did I say? I said, give me the weakest thing, give me the most feminine thing you got. He goes, I'm right here.
Yeah,
He's like,
he did. It was great.
because I didn't know he was gay. I was like, he's like,
And you point out the fact that since he was gay, he must have a boat.
I
He's
go,
like,
"You-
I do have a boat.
and I go, every gay guy I know has a boat. And he's like, I got a boat. So I was like,
Jesus.
That's a stereotype I've never heard
You're
before. That.
laughing so hard like that time when, like, remember sound bites were a big thing on Newgrounds for a minute?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And like the first time I ever discovered those, you were at home. We woke you up or something, and we had the Sam Jackson one. It was just like, "Shut the fuck up, fat man!" And he was like, just like dying on the phone, and I'm over there dying, and like that, like, for like a month straight, we fucking turned into the Jerky Boys. I was like, "Oh, fucking soundboards! This is amazing."
I had one at work. It was just Arnold Schwarzenegger drops.
Yes.
So I'd always do it in the shop, and everybody, what the fuck? It's not even funny. I'm like, this is great. You're wrong.
Yeah, the Sam Jackson one was good, and then for some reason the Owen Wilson one was really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like you forget how many things he said. Like, it just everything he said, you were able to have like a full conversation because it was a variety. Where
Yeah.
Arnold's all like one-liners and like you don't really find the right time to use a lot of them.
Drew and Mike were really good at using it the right time for all of them.
Owen Wilson, it was like a soundboard of like just generic phrases.
Conversational English.
Yes, where you could like talk to somebody and people like, I'm fucking talking to a real human being.
That's great.
My favorite one was the Nick Manning one, dropping fucking loads.
Yeah.
And I was like, come up over here, you groupie little slut.
Yeah.
What are you talking? He was a porn guy that talked mad shit at the girls he was banging.
Really
and he
just
he just kept getting more and more like out there. He had a soundboard.
dropping loads.
And groupie little slut. I'm like, why would he call some girl a groupie little slut?
Oh man, I love soundboards.
The new breed of porn star is so annoying because they just feel like they need to scream like they're getting stabbed the whole time. It's obnoxious.
I'm telling you, man.
Well, like you don't see it as much anymore, but like in the mid 2000s, it was always the guys that they walked in the room and nothing was even happening. Like, they're like breathing heavy, like they didn't even touch the girl yet. You know, they just walk into the room like they're fully clothed. Like, dude, take your clothes off.
Also, I can probably deal with 100% less of step family.
Oh my God, what is it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, the entire family sexualized.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea.
Your father's away on a business trip. I was like, okay, this doesn't. This is not
my favorite step porn trope is the stepmom will be home and the daughter will be home and the dad's away and the daughter dresses provocatively.
Yes.
So the stepmom would be like, oh, you're not going out dressed like that. You want to dress like a slut? I'll treat you like one. It's like, wait, how did we get to this?
I'm angry at you, but I'm going to show you how you do it. Or it's always like the young guy jacking off. You don't even know how to do it right. You're not doing it right. Like the mom goes in there. Like,
I literally saw one where the guy's stepmom got stuck in the washer.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah.
She got stuck in the washer. He's like, all right. So he started fucking her while she's stuck in the washer. It was so stupid.
Classic.
That classic. You know what happens? Apparently her breasts were so big that she couldn't pull herself out of this dryer. It was a dryer, actually.
Did she call him to help her?
Yeah.
And then he fucked her.
He just fucked her instead.
You'll never guess what happens next. What, he fixes the cable like that?
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
There's so many of those. I saw one that this guy, he was like jerking off. She's like, I don't want you thinking about girls at school, and I don't want you thinking about this. So I'm just like, so that's your logic. I'm gonna jerk off my stepson so he'll focus on school.
Yeah.
No, he's just gonna focus on you jerking him off every day.
This is his primary focus from now on.
I saw one where the lady playing the stepmom fucked up and almost got herself probably into some legal problems to where she was like, what are you now, like a teenager? Like 18? Like had to like change it real quick to make sure she said 18.
The big disclaimer across the front. Everybody here is an actor.
It was almost like a helper, like looking into the camera.
You know, you want to talk about something that like I don't even know if they can put it on the internet now, but there was stuff like I remember in the mid 2000s where there was this girl, her name was Extreme Holly, and she would fuck black guys and call them N-word the whole time.
Oh yeah,
the entire time. I want to be effed by
she would say it all the time, and it's like you could not do that now.
Like
you probably couldn't do it then either.
Well, they got away with it then,
and they were always like super stereotypical. You want this black cock in your ass? And
yeah,
it was like really totally bad. Like stereotypical as
I know
you
exactly.
could go.
It was so bad.
That industry is one of those things where like if you take a step back and like really overanalyze what you look at, it all becomes really, really bad and unfun.
How do they make money?
I don't know.
No one rents movies. No one buys movies. No one pays for those sites.
I haven't paid for porn since 2001.
No, they get paid to try out all the new technology.
That's true too.
They do all of their 4K
and actually
cameras and shit all through porn.
And
like
also
the super sensitive mics with a gain all the way up.
I swear to God, I saw one and I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it was a guy and his wife, and they turned the gain up all the way. So when he came and the shots hit stuff, you heard the splatter make noise.
Like came to the scene, or
no? He jizzed.
I was kidding.
When he shot his load, anytime it hit something, if it hit the floor, it hit her chest, you heard the sound it made. They did it intentionally. It's like you can hear the cum.
Well,
I'm like, what the fuck is
every
this?
Once in a while, you'll see like a porn where like it almost looks like it's shot with like like way too good of a camera.
Yeah.
You're seeing like all the blemishes and like
Oh,
the pimples
yeah.
and the zits. It's like that's horrifying.
That's like
the
what we were talking
heroin,
about.
the heroin track marks of the
They
obviously messed
they
up
give
girl.
them cameras to
All
try
that
out,
shit.
and that's where they're getting money from. That, and I don't know if it was true or not, but you ever seen people like posting pictures of their Pornhub checks because you get paid for clicks and everything? So if you get
No.
millions of views, you get money for it. Someone had a check that was like for $37,000 from Pornhub.
You're saying
And-
like an advertiser or
no, the performers, people that have their own Pornhub channels.
Okay, I got you.
So, and it was just an amateur lady, and she got like a check 1 month for $37,000 for just making videos of herself
That's crazy.
and a partner. Sometimes
That's crazy.
it was crazy. So it's like, Pornhub.
Yeah, the super HD cameras and fucking.
Oh,
The thing is, like, when the HD gets so like clear and crisp, it looks like an old fucking 90s like camcorder, but on super, those old camcorders that had that, like, it doesn't have a movie like look to it. It looks like too.
I know what you mean.
don't know,
Yeah.
Well, now like isn't like porn seems like it's more like I don't even watch it to where I want to be like turn on. It's almost like a circus freak show. It's
No,
like
that's
it's
no,
like
some
how
of it-
far
So that's the whole thing.
how far can we like go across the line or like toe the line?
the whole jerking off process is not that long. That's so you might do that in the beginning and be done, and then you go on the weird rabbit hole of like, and then what happens? What happens is something you'll watch something, and something about the girl will like humanize her for a second, and then you snap out of it. So like giggle or like
But there's like
that's
video-
someone's daughter, and you're like done. You're like, what's wrong with me? I'm messed up. I gotta stop. I need to be stopped.
well, no, there's like videos of like people like just hooking people up to like car batteries, electrocuting them and shit. Like
Yeah, it's weird.
Like-
Yeah. Well, I don't get into any of that. Like even as a voyeur, like that, the real S&M stuff,
Fuck no.
because it's like I honestly just think it's dumb.
I think it's
Like-
dorky. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
here, they're all like in that wet leather, and they're like hitting each other. I'm like, if a girl asked me to do this, I'd say, get out of my fucking house. Just get out of here.
What
You're
about
not
the
wet
people that-
leathering me.
What about the people that dress like horses?
You're even more kicked out. You're even more-
The stuff I like is the stuff that's
Lay there and be hot. That's all you need to
authentic,
do for
and
me, ladies.
You can tell it's like authentic. It's real stuff. Like the dancing bears stuff. No, that's not real at all. That was my joke.
I don't
That's-
know. I don't even know what that.
Like
dancing-
bachelorette parties where they come in their dressed like a bear
Oh, God.
dancing,
It's funny that you
And the-
say that. There's
and
a
the girls are like, I don't usually do this, and they all just suck dick.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fucking,
I don't usually suck everybody off here in a fucking.
I
I've
don't
never
usually suck
done this
bear
before, and
dicks.
They have fucking balls in their mouth. Yeah.
Well, there's
Doing
actually
cocaine
a
off dicks.
restaurant. I'll have to look it up in a minute. But this guy dresses up like a bear and cooks you a culinary, just amazing meal as a bear. And they have a location in Seattle.
Is
I
he
think
naked?
Denver. No.
Oh,
Full-
so it's not okay.
Full bear. Nothing sexual
Called
about it.
Bear
just cooking.
Essentials.
That would be good.
Bare
But
necessities.
Ooh,
But yeah, so he just dresses like a mascot style bear and cooks a full meal of food for you and your friends, but it's super fucking expensive. And it's like, rich people throw money away bullshit.
like that Salt Bay guy where he was sprinkling the salt, and people would always go to his restaurant because of that.
I'm kind of
Fucking Emerald?
amazed at the things that
What?
become
Emerald.
memes.
No.
Or
The
what
Salt
about
Bay.
what about that Latin guy that cuts the meat? So
That guy, yeah,
it's him, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
He was like sprinkles of salt, but he doesn't like weird.
Salt Bay?
Yeah, that's what his name.
I know. It's just, I hate the word bay
That's
so
what I'm
much.
Oh my god, I'll say it to my wife intentionally just to piss her off.
Salt Bay.
Bay.
Bay,
Bay, bay.
and she's like, you know that means shit, right? I'm like, no, does it? I don't know.
What? The,
I
guess
I
according to
wasn't,
her.
I wasn't
Shit.
aware of that.
I had no clue. She might have made it up.
Bay? When did Bay mean shit?
Different language. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't say it did. I was quoting somebody who doesn't know. My wife.
So what else was the other shit that you said you wanted to talk about?
80s movies.
Well, yeah, you were
Sweet.
sending when we were in correspondence all week when you said you were going to come on here, Jay.
That sounds like I'm on a fucking boat. Like,
Correspondence.
yeah.
But no, but you were like
Day
you had all
68
these
at sea.
these ideas that you had for
Well, the
80s
one,
movie that were never made.
so the one thing is that I don't mind sharing this because it can't get stolen from me because none of us have the rights to the characters. So we all like the Rocky movies.
Yes.
We all like the
Yeah.
Rambo movies. So I had this idea, and I think it might have stemmed from a dream or just, I don't know, my fucked up mind is where I want the Rocky sequel and the Rambo sequel. Disregard the Creed movies. Fuck those things.
Yeah.
He didn't actually know that there was another Rambo coming out where he's going to be against the cartel.
Oh, Last
I didn't
Blood.
know that.
It's called Last Blood. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I'm watching.
it comes out in
that.
September, I believe.
So I had to adjust my script. So it's going to be Rambo 6 and
Okay.
Rocky 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would happen is that Drago's son, we'll go with that. This
He's
is
in
all
Creed too.
loose. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
We'll have to rework this again though.
Yeah, Drago
Either
comes back
way-
and he's training his own son to fight Creed too.
Either way, Rocky gets fucking kidnapped by bad dudes and
All
gets
right.
taken overseas to pick your fucking place that's not desirable. And the only
Brown
man,
soldiers everywhere.
yeah, the only man that knows the terrain to rescue famed boxer Rocky Balboa, John Rambo.
John Rambo.
So
So
it's
John
gonna be like
Rambo
double
will
impact
be
with fucking Van
rescuing
Damme.
Rocky Balboa. And originally I thought it'd be cool if it'd be Drago's son, but if you're telling me he's in the Creed movies, that kind of ruins that.
I think so. I haven't seen Creed 2, but I know Drago's in it, and I think he's training his own son to fight Creed 2.
I had no desire to see the Creed movies.
I heard they're pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I just can't muster up any
Drago's
bucks.
son converts to Islam.
Well,
That-
can
that would be
happen.
cool.
Some of the Russian territories, that's the way it is.
Yeah, it's
fucking
believable
hate-
because there are white
Dude,
Muslims
what's
in
black
the
dude's name?
Caucasus Mountains.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I hate Michael B. Jordan.
By the way,
I hate him.
Rambo 4 is the best of those movies.
Oh, just Rambo.
Rambo-
When he's fucking killing. that
Here-
dude
here's my
with
problem
It's
with-
fucking amazing.
Here's my
Spit
problem
on
with
me,
it.
protest me, call me.
It's almost like too serious. Like there was, I can't take Rambo 2 and 3 seriously. That's why I like them better. The Rambo 4, it was straight up. It was like a serious movie. Rambo 1 was just like, a
Rambo 1's kind of boring in retrospect.
It is, but it's based on a book, and that's where
Yeah.
the book was.
But
and then-
Rambo 4 uses its own movie as stock footage. So there's a scene where he's like firing that giant
Yeah.
fucking machine gun on the back of the Jeep.
50 cal.
And then like maybe 15 minutes later, they just reverse the fucking scene
Yeah.
and he just fires it the other way.
Dude, did he seriously? He shot that gun for like 11 minutes straight, didn't
Well,
he?
the thing is, that was one movie where
Starved
when I went
hogs.
to, I don't go to movies much. I had more fucking fun seeing that movie with my friends. Brian was one of them. It was just like one of the greatest times. Like you don't have a whole lot of great times post childhood, totally sober. We were just like drinking pop and stuff.
You're talking about the Rambo 4.
Rambo
We
4.
went and saw Rambo 4, and I
Did you
had one of the
go
best
to
times in
No, I
my
think,
fucking
Jason,
life.
Didn't I go with you?
Because
to
all
see
the it
Rambo
was
4?
a synergy of
No.
who I went with, what the movie was about, the woman crying,
in the theater was crying.
like it was so good.
The true story about that movie is I just had met Janine not long before that, and that was one of our first like dates.
oh,
And like I knew she was the one when
Yeah.
she wanted to go see, and she was sick as fuck too. She had a cold, and we went and seen Rambo, and the rest is history.
That's
The best
true
part
love.
about that movie is that the bad dude's already like a bad guy, but then they allude to the fact that he's fucking kids.
He's a pedophile
Yeah.
on top
They,
of it.
like they had to throw that on
It's
just
like
to make it
he's
even worse.
it's so much
If you don't
worse.
like
than
him
you thought.
enough, well, here you really don't like him.
I don't know
now.
why it was, but
The
I
best-
honestly thought when we went that you went with
I
us.
forgot. who I
Craig
went.
didn't go. It was me.
Craig was in Utah.
Yeah,
He's the
I
one that
might have-
referred us
I
to
might-
it.
and Bobby was with us, and there was a lady
I
in
went.
one in front of me and 2 seats over who was crying when they threw the baby into the
I thought
fire.
it was.
I
I
don't
thought it was.
remember
I
who
thought
I
it was
saw
me,
that
you,
with.
Tom, and Bobby Curtis.
Might
It
have
wasn't
been.
Frank either.
Frank might have went too.
It might have been. I can't remember. I remember seeing it in the theater, but I that's all I remember.
It was so good though.
I just remember.
Starved hogs.
Well, the thing is, he did this the starved hogs thing, but I did my thing back to him because you know the scene where he like rises from behind the guy in the 50 cal. And
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. I looked at Brian and go, "It's time."
Yeah,
I knew it
they
was
just
coming.
start tearing shit up.
Because I'm like, and just
Well-
see meat.
well, like that movie takes place in Myanmar.
Yeah,
Burma.
Burma.
in
Burma.
Burma.
Wait, it used to be
Yeah, Myanmar.
Myanmar. Okay, and that at that point they were trying to like, I think like have like travel propaganda out there, like come to visit our country. That movie just disregarded everything that they were trying to do.
Well,
to get
because they're
people
trying to
to
get people to
that
come to
country.
certain parts of it, but they're still in the Civil War. They're still fighting
Yeah.
while they're trying to get like tourism.
Yeah, I don't like getting shot with guns or cobras.
It was literally
so
like
I'm
a
not
60-year war they had been having.
gonna- Yeah,
It was terrible.
Come to Burma.
But I was going to say something else. You're talking about Rocky, and he kind of alluded that Creed 2 was going to be the last appearance of Rocky Balboa. But he did have an idea for another Rocky movie. he was going to have, he was still going to be training people, and he was going to have a guy who came in, who he taught was working his way up the ranks and stuff.
It's going to be MMA, right?
No.
Oh,
Then he found out. Then all of a sudden, INS came in because the kid was an illegal alien, and they deported him. And the whole movie was Rocky trying to get him back into the country because he was what do they call him? The Dreamers.
Dreamer.
Yeah, like that's what it was. His family got here and he was trying to give
It's
him
just
stake.
Dreamers. Yeah.
It was Dreamers.
this sounds lame as fuck.
And what he did, it gets worse because he was trying to get him to find a way to get him to come back to the country. He went to wherever he was and went back, and the corrupt officials there would only let him come back as if he fought his way. So basically, he had to start doing boxing matches in whatever country he went back to, and had to fight his way back.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Through
though.
hard
I
work.
wanted Rocky to be kidnapped by, the Ivan Drago family.
Yeah.
And then he's forced into like an underground fighting for, the spectators.
Yep.
And then it's almost like cockfighting or dog fighting. But then Rambo knows the fucking terrain, so he can rescue Rocky. I just want to see two Stallones on screen together, pretty much.
Double impact.
This is, and it's
Dolph
just
Lundgren.
funny you would say that.
Lincoln
because that's-
Hawks.
Lincoln Hawks.
Get them
John
out.
Spartan comes in. Or Cobra's there too. I can't remember his name wasn't Cobra, but
Marion Cobretti.
is that what it was? Seriously?
No, wait, whoa. They were thinking about re-uploading Cobra, and they were talking about it on Twitter.
Oh, he wants to make it a series.
Yeah,
He wants to actually make it like a
oh yeah.
a Hulu type series.
So there
I
might
don't
do
remember
it.
that movie.
So
Cobra was like
that's relevant.
1986.
That
He
is
was like
relevant.
a cop, and he drove a hot rod, and Brigitte
But
But
Nielsen
now,
was
because
in.
it's not the '80s, like Marion Cobretti's going to have like a sassy black woman that tells him what to do.
It
And
said it was
he's
like
a dunce that
he had
doesn't know
made-
anything because he's a man.
he had
It's gonna
made
be
Rocky
stupid.
4 with Drago,
Mhm.
and then Brigitte Nielsen was in
Do
that.
you think that's the best one?
I do.
You do?
I think it is. It's just because it's not the best movie. It's the most entertaining movie of the
The
bunch.
montage is the best.
Yeah, the whole thing, the whole training.
You guys all
Yeah.
watched the first Rocky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, admit it. When
It's fine filmmaking.
he pinned Adrian against that wall, and she was like, "I just don't know." Isn't that kind of like nowadays?
Oh
Not
yeah,
then, but nowadays you'd be like,
Talking about rapey.
"Yeah,
a little rapey, but that's
I'm
what-
sure-
you can't do that."
I'm
now.
sure it'll be edited
Now
out
back
of
then,
all
you
TV
could
broadcasts.
pin someone against the wall and fuck them, and there'd be no big deal.
yeah,
But
40 years ago.
nowadays, I don't know if you could do that.
I think Rocky 4 is the best. It's not the best filmmaking movie. Rocky is obviously the best, the Oscar-winning Rocky.
Yeah.
But Rocky 4 is the best, most entertaining one of the bunch by far.
Yep.
3's good.
That's Thunderlips.
3
Yeah,
is Thunder Lips, and then
Yeah.
and T.
and Mr. T.
I don't like that one. I think that's the
I
weakest one.
I
other
actually
than
do
5.
too. I was 5 is probably
Five is garbage.
I like
5 is pretty
The
bad.
funny
It's got
thing
some
is-
good moments.
Like
the
AIDS?
first one was he was an aging fighter. The first one.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be this aging fighter. He's like getting old and he doesn't have many more and then like they made like it went on for years after that.
Yeah, because he was
he was
seriously
already aging.
he was in real life. He was 31 years old and still trying to be a fighter in Rocky.
He wrote and not directed, just wrote the first Rocky.
He did
He
not
wrote
direct
all
it.
of them, didn't he?
He wrote it, and they didn't want him to be
Well,
in it.
The
They wanted to
guy that
slide
it
the
was
script.
loosely based on, Chuck Wepner,
Yeah.
Yep.
tried to sue him.
Yeah.
But people don't realize, and I understand why Wepner would be mad. He goes, "I'm tired of this guy." He goes, because even in the first Creed movie or the one where he works at a restaurant and everything, that's still Wepner. Wepner.
That was 6. That was Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, and he worked at a restaurant, and he goes, the real guy, Wetner's like, "I'm tired of this motherfucker making money off of everything I do." But the people don't realize you don't own your own likeness.
You do not.
You like so if somebody made I made a story about me, boring as my life is. If it's loosely based on me and my name's not said and it's not auto, I can't get any money out of that.
No.
Like you can't make a dime. You do not own your own likeness. You do not. And that
Vince
I
McMahon
thought
does.
that's why they fucked up. So that someone could find you totally interesting, make a whole fucking trillions of dollars off of you, and you don't get a goddamn
That's why
dime.
the disclaimer when
Loosely.
loosely based on if it's coincidental, it says right in the disclaimer on all
But
movies.
it's totally Chuck Wepner, the whole thing.
Everybody knows it. Yeah.
But
Well, we know.
Chuck Webner never got a fucking penny.
Another Stallone thing that's funny is talk about missed opportunity. We were talking about the Marvel movies. So in the second Guardians, Kurt Russell and Stallone are both in that.
Yeah.
I needed a little bit of screen time with those two
Together?
together for a little,
All
I think
need
it
is
was
Tango and Cash.
Fucking two, but
Tango and Cash.
fucking Russell won't do it.
Why won't he do it?
He said he doesn't want to go back in his career. He doesn't want to do any.
I
more
want another
sequels.
fucking Snake Plissken movie, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but
that was the
he-
only thing I heard he was willing to do was some kind of Snake Plissken.
Well,
thing.
the reason is simple. Him and John Carpenter were always really close.
So I don't.
So it's like it'd be like me and you. Like I don't want to do another goddamn movie, and like Brian wants to do this movie. All right, I'm
Well, they talked about rebooting that, like another escape movie.
yeah,
And like I was like, well, who the fuck would play the part of Kurt? Kurt Russell's like he's older, but he's not old to where it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But it's like someone said there's a guy in Game of Thrones that has like red hair and a beard, and he would be a perfect guy. Like I don't watch Game of
the only
Thrones.
one I
guy.
can think was Rob Stark.
or maybe the guy that the top wildling, or
Oh,
Yeah, there was-
But
Torment.
then my buddy sent me the picture of this guy. I was like, that guy would be fucking perfect for this. Like, I dig it.
Or they can just get The Rock.
The Rock and
No.
Kevin Hart will do every movie.
Well, they
Isn't
want
The Rock
to
doing-
play Jack Burton?
Well, no, now I hear it's just the same universe, and it won't be Jack Burton.
Oh, thank fucking
Is-
God.
well, The Rock, is he kind of like Robert De Niro, where he just won't say no to a script?
Even
Yeah.
I don't even think De Niro's the worst. I think Morgan Freeman and some of these guys they make everything. Morgan Freeman has so many directed.
Christopher Lee,
Christopher Lee
before
did
he
a lot.
died, he was in like a $5 billion movie.
The Rock explained this. The Rock is like, I make movies for mass audiences because I want to do that. Like he doesn't want to be like a niche, like where Batista actually says like he's been offered everything. Batista's like, I just selectively choose
Yeah,
certain things because I want to be like more of a serious actor. Where like The Rock is like, whatever makes money. He's Will Smith. The Rock's Will Smith.
he is. He's like, yeah, he is. Dave
Well-
Bautista actually.
I like Batista. I didn't like Batista the wrestler, but
I like Bautista the actor.
Out of all the Marvel universe, I think Drax is my favorite character.
Well, those are the two best
Right.
movies. Or the two Marvel or two Guardians movies are the best ones, I think. And the Winter Soldier. But when he did shit, what did he do with Gosling? Fucking Blade Runner 2049.
That movie's awesome.
And he was great. He was only in a little bit, but his just everything he did was like he was very
I thought
good.
every time they do sequels for movies that are like way too fucking far away, I'm always like, this is gonna stink. That movie ruled.
It was really good. And I'm really disappointed it didn't do better. Because they could have done another sequel. But we won't get anything more from that.
Another
universe now.
topic I was interested in talking to you guys about was like movie, because we obviously live in a world where fucking remakes are
Oh my
all
God.
that Hollywood does now is just remake everything.
Yeah.
But what movies do you think would be good to be remade? And I have two in mind.
I only want another Snake Plissken movie because the second Snake Plissken movie was garbage.
You don't like when he was surfing?
Oh my god!
Well, here's the thing:
So
is
bad,
I
it's
seen
good.
a guy though review that, and he turned me around on it.
I have
And
not
then
seen it since it
the
came out in
reason he
theaters.
turned me around on it, he said it was supposed to be the over the top cheesy. They weren't out. They were not out to make. They were like, let's make this the most ridiculous thing we could possibly.
and that would
make
kind
it.
of go with Carpenter's movies at that time because he made that.
Yeah.
Ghost of Mars was like that over the top.
Ghost of Mars is bullshit.
And
But
so
the first one was so good,
it was.
so much better.
One movie I fucking love, and you could remake it because it's based off of a book, would be The Running Man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I love
Well-
the Schwarzenegger movie. That's my favorite Arnold movie.
Yeah,
But
I know.
If you
I
based it,
disagree with you.
if you
though.
based it more off of the King book,
Predator.
No,
and-
you're right. You mean the Bachman book?
is that what it is?
Yeah, it was Richard Bachman, which is
Yeah, but
Stephen
it's
King.
still Stephen
Okay,
King.
yeah. But if you give me like a
Me
movie
being
where
a
it's like
nerd.
it's more like cerebral and like not like so
It's
hokey,
more like surviving the game.
it could be fucking awesome. And the second one is Clue. Like if you remade Clue,
Oh, Clue was phenomenal.
but you could remake that now and have it be more of, you could either go one way, you go super campy with it and funny and still detective,
or very dark
or
humor.
very
Very
like
dark.
I was thinking, like I was talking to my buddy about this. So the whole movie was based off, Tim Curry pretty much is like the heart
Yes.
of that movie as the butler. Why not just give that to fucking Johnny Depp and what's his nuts, Tim Burton, and just do a fucking version of it like that where it's like choose your own adventure shit in the theaters.
I think that instead of Johnny Depp being the butler, they should make Jack McBrayer, no, just kidding.
Jack McBrayer from fucking 30
30
Rock.
Rock. No, just kidding.
That Clue movie was phenomenal.
It's
I still
great.
watch Clue.
I
all the time.
I even had the fucking board game and played that shit.
We actually have a.
Why did they make a board game based off of a movie?
You have to figure it out. You got to figure it out.
I would love to see another Clue or a remake to Clue. That would be
Or the
fantastic.
other route you could go this is you give it to like Christopher Nolan, and then you just make like a super like fucked up like thriller mystery head case movie with like.
I think it's
super
gotta be-
serious-
4 hours long.
I think it has to be a little bit more tongue in cheek type stuff. So I think Tim Burton would be an okay choice for that. That one that movie can't take itself too seriously. Part of it was that it was kind of
It was campy then.
campy, a little outlandish.
Yeah,
Tim
but I
Burton's-
did like that movie. That is a good call.
Tim Burton would be fine.
Here's what
Christopher Nolan wouldn't work.
You want to talk about a re-upload? Only because I love the intro to it, the music to it so much. I just want to hear it again.
The Hitcher,
Hitchhiker.
the Hitch.
I don't know
no,
what
the
that is.
Hitchhiker. Or the
Hitchhiker series.
Oh, the TV series.
Wow.
It was an HBO series
It's an HBO series.
from like 90s.
And what it was like the hitchhiker. Everyone that picked him up was a dickhead of a person, and it was kind of like them getting what they deserved, kind of thing.
It's kind of like, remember the show Highway to Heaven with Michael Landon,
that movie,
where
that show sucked.
every week he was somewhere else and helping somebody else out or doing
But it was
something
the
else.
opposite.
This was like the opposite.
Like you're the asshole that ran. Like it could be anything. It could be a guy that like ran a sweatshop and some lady got her hand caught in the machine. Like she's still got to finish her shift. That kind of guy.
Or 20 years ago, he accidentally contributed to the death of somebody else, and so every week he finds another asshole that gives him a ride somewhere, and he kind of like
They die.
they die. They basically get their just desserts, if you will.
Okay.
I like.
But it was a
Hitchhiker.
dark show. It was an HBO show from late 80s, maybe 1990.
It was great.
I don't
And
remember
It was,
that.
the
it
eerie-
was their main thing right before Tales from the Crypt.
It was like it had an eerie theme song to it.
That's gonna get rebooted at some point, right?
I'm sure it will.
It has to.
For some reason, I got that and the Hitcher confused, but they already remade the
I remember
Hitcher.
the Crypt Keeper was one of our gym teachers.
Yeah, she taught at our
Miss
high school.
Litticoat. Tales from the Crypt.
She did.
She, she was freaking
Hello,
skeleton.
kitty.
Yeah, because we talked about Running Man a little bit because I did that poll where I thought
Yeah.
Predator was the best and I lost handily. I
went
love the
Predator.
Running Man. Don't get me wrong.
I
I
went,
do- I
Pre-
do
I went
love how
Predator.
Arnold movies are like a category. That's what I like about like it's
Yeah.
a genre. Like there's comedy, drama, action, Arnold movies. Like,
It is it because I've been trying to show Donovan some of the older movies because he's into those things. So he's already seen the Predator.
Mankind would probably what Terminator is his best movie.
Terminator
What would
2,
mankind in general vote as Arnold's probably Terminator?
Probably T2.
T2.
probably
T2.
Jingle All the Way.
A lot of people love Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
But
People like
I,
Jingle All the Way.
I like Predator, but it's one of the Terminator movies.
T2 would probably be
T2.
the most voted for one for Arnold movies. I
We
would
talked
think.
about this before, like not doing like a podcast, but just talking in general, like best sequels though. Like Terminator 2, superior.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about what else do we say? I think the second Nerds movie
Oh,
is
yeah.
better when they go to
Nerds
Fort
in Paradise
Lauderdale.
is way
More
better.
than-
yeah.
I think it's
Hot
way
oral sex.
Yeah.
Take me
Yeah.
back to
Vote-
paradise.
No one
Fantastic.
is it no on 15?
What if
Yeah.
CAT
The
really
rap,
spelled
it's like the
dog?
Beastie Boys rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So you're right.
I'm
No, that's
15.
true.
The Mighty
Yeah.
Lip C.
What happened to Barry Sobel? He alive?
I don't know who that is.
The
He was
the,
the-
the
he was
white
Lip
nerd
C.
that
Yeah,
joined
He
him.
worked at the fucking
Yeah, he was
hotel.
Lip C. White Castle.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I've never, oh yeah. I
Lamar
did see him in
Latrell
something.
went on to be Fear of the Black Hat.
This might be not a very favorable one, but I think Ghostbusters 2 is better than the first Ghostbusters.
That's tough.
That's-
They're both so good.
I like them both, but no, I'd still I guess have to go with the first.
You got to go with the first because this man has no dick.
This man has no
It's the
dick.
best line in movie history.
No, that movie had like it was funny and it was fucking like I was just watching it not.
I thought
that
the whole
long ago.
Vigo thing was badass with the
Yeah, but
painting.
It was
They
pretty
were
cool.
villain.
I mean, no, it was a good movie. I just that first one.
That first one scares the shit out of me.
This might be
so I wanna
unpopular
watch it.
too, but I think Gremlins 2 is better than Gremlins.
Gremlins
Yeah,
2 is more
Gremlins-
fun.
Yeah.
this was
Gremlins 1
hilarious.
is the better movie.
The
but Gremlins
fucking
2 is
female,
more fun.
Hogan, listen, you little gremlin bastards. He turned on the theater.
And then
Wasn't he a Surf Ninjas 3?
Best part about Gremlins 2 is that
Nin-
Clamp
Ninjas.
is based off of Trump. And
Yeah.
once you know that and you watch it again,
Yeah.
being like a real estate mogul in the big tower.
oh, it absolutely is. Yeah,
he's Trump.
it is. It was
John Glover, wasn't it?
was it John Glover?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
John
was
Glover.
from
Is that Danny
Smallville.
Glover's brother?
No,
No, he's
he
totally
was
white.
totally
he was
white.
it's Donald Glover's
Uncle. Yes.
step uncle.
Is he gonna fuck him in a porn?
Yeah,
too?
the dude from Smallville.
He was he played Lionel Luthor in Smallville and stuff, and he's been in a few things. We talked about this I think last year. Some people, were you the one who thought that Bill and Ted 2 was better than Bill and Ted?
No,
was
the
not you.
first one's certainly better.
Bill and Ted 2 is garbage compared to 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
2 is still a lot of fun, but yeah, Excellent Adventures.
If you ever read some of the backstory of the 2, if they could have done exactly what they wanted to do, because it was supposed to be called Bill and Ted Go to Hell. That was the name of the movie. They're like, well, you can't say hell in the title. So it's Bogus Journey.
It's supposed to be a fun time.
But it was supposed to be a lot.
What's this next one be called? Like
Point Break. I want to remake Point Break.
They already did.
I want a real make.
It was just
Not
a lot
that. That
more
doesn't count.
dark humor. And it was dark already. It was darker humor in the second one, but it was I actually like part 2, not as much as part 1, but I don't think it's as far apart as some other people think.
I like part 2.
Yeah.
Like Bogus Journey.
Point Break, the remake.
terrible.
That doesn't count. I want Keanu to do a remake.
He might. He's the most popular man on earth.
You want to know what's fucked up is I just watched. I actually like Keanu. I think he gets a bad rap, but I watched.
I absolutely love Keanu
Who
Reeves.
gives him a bad rap? What are you talking?
He's genuinely known as one of like the most wooden actors.
Well, that you talk about as a person.
I don't care.
He's a nice guy in the fucking world.
I can barely think of any movies of his.
Scanner Darkly.
Yeah.
Awesome movie.
Yep.
I didn't realize Alex Jones is in that.
Is he really?
He's the guy with the megaphone that's constantly preaching in the movie about like the different things.
Real? Holy shit!
It's fucking Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is out of his fucking mind.
Well, here's the thing: is that I listened to a show I used to, and he talked about. I spent time in Hollywood, and I didn't really know. Like, well, when the fuck were you ever in Hollywood, Alex?
Well, apparently,
then I didn't know that. So he was at some point.
Yeah, he's the guy in Scanner Darkly that has the megaphone, and he's like chanting to the crowds, like riling up the people and stuff like that. But Scanner Darkly, it's called like rotoscopy, I think it is, where like they take the film that they shot and then they animate over it.
Yeah,
and you animate over every single
it took
fucking
forever.
frame.
Yeah,
that's like one of the longest movies in post production done.
Yeah, 4 times longer in post production than it was in filming.
Well, we saw that. Were you with me when we saw that?
I haven't seen it.
Before you could just drink beer at any fucking movie theater, you had to go to Ferndale to the Magic Bag for
Yep.
the Bruin View,
Yep.
which was like a spectacle. It's like, we're going to show a movie that just got done in the major theaters and then put it at the bar. And it was fucking awesome. Like,
Yep.
we saw Borat, like a couple things there.
Yeah, we saw Borat and something else.
And it was fucking, holy shit, I can drink a beer and see a movie? And
See, that's awesome.
No,
Yeah, now it's like in
now
all the
it's
You
like-
theaters.
do like Imagine or wherever.
Yeah.
But at least at the Magic Bag, you get a fucking Pabst Blue for like $1.
Yeah.
And now you go to the fucking theater and it's like freaking baseball prices.
You were
The beer is-
fucking housed at Force Awakens.
Dude, okay. I was so fucking hammered at Force Awakens. I had to see the movie a second time just so I could remember what the fuck was
So like
happening.
when you watch a movie you've never seen before, you don't know when a good time is to go take a piss.
No, I don't know.
You just like guess. You're like,
Jesus
this looks
Christ.
boring. So like everyone that was leaving was taking so long to get back, and they were like leaving out the back, where you came in at, and then he walked out the door by the screen and was back in like 20 seconds. Like, there's a bathroom right there. He's like, it's outside.
You just went in the alley, didn't you? You went behind the building.
So I opened the door and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm outside.
You
So
just
I'm like, open the door so you can't get back in. So like, I'm like, just
yeah.
I got the door propped open and I'm pissing out the fucking
In the screen showing Star Wars is right fucking there.
And I was, it was so
good.
And I was like, holy shit, he found the bathroom that's closer. Everyone else is taking like 5 minutes to go to the bathroom because they're all the way down the hall.
Oh,
Nope,
That's,
outside. And then you fall asleep in your car in the parking structure like a fucking dingus.
I actually
I
fell,
had to because if I didn't, I would die.
I actually fell asleep during Star Wars when they reissued it in 1997.
Oh, well, God, how many times have you seen it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like for some reason I was like, I'm just gonna go see the movie, and I think I skipped school to go see it because I didn't feel like going to school. And once on, I actually fell asleep during it. I woke up and the Death Star was exploding. I'm like, what the?
They've been playing them all on TNT like all weekend. And I've only seen Phantom Menace one time in the theater and like one time not long after the theater. So 99.
I've probably seen it like 4 times in total.
That movie fucking sucks.
No, it's so bad.
Dude,
It's
so
so
much better.
bad.
The
than
20th
fucking-
anniversary was a couple days ago of that movie.
That movie is so much
So
better
bad.
than Attack of the Clones.
Oh,
No,
I
Natalie
don't know,
Portman
man.
is still
Attack
hot.
Clones is bullshit.
Attack of
I
the
don't
Clones
know,
is
man.
Attack Clones is way better than fucking Phantom Menace.
And speaking of sequels that are better than originals, Empire Strikes Back is better than Star Wars.
Yes,
Oh, fuck.
I actually
Hands
think
down.
I think
like-
Force Awakens is better than A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jedi's my
Well,
favorite.
here's
knew
my
it.
take. I don't know
I
what the
actually
name of any of those are. I just know the ones I
I actually think Rogue One is
Star
better than
Wars,
Force
Empire Strikes
Awakens.
Back, Return of the Jedi. That's
I
all
like
know.
Rogue One more than The Force Awakens.
Rogue One kind of bored me.
I went to
Really?
the theater
Yeah.
and I
Oh.
saw Samuel L. Jackson get chopped in half.
Did you go with me
I think it was with
at the
you.
Showcase Cinemas?
Me, you, and Nicole.
Showcase Cinemas.
No, I don't think it was
Where's
me
that
then.
at?
I went with
MGR
Craig.
15 now.
Oh, that was the theater that was in the corner there.
It faced.
Yes, we saw Freddy got fingered there.
And I saw Jason X there. And what was weird about the
Maybe I
theater
did go with you.
is they had the hall the aisleway down the middle, and you had to go
Uh,
sit on either side.
I remember Tom
went to a
Green
midnight
was,
showing
Tom
of
Green
Phantom
was the
Menace.
only person to accept his award as the worst movie of the year.
At the Razzies.
And he
Who was
fucking
this?
went and he showed
Tom
up
Green.
and accepted the award.
Oh,
That's awesome that he went and did it. It's like,
I don't care. I think Freddy Got Fingered is fantastic.
well, the part where the guy
Mahoops.
with Anthony Clark breaks his leg,
Yeah.
and then he's like, man, he's like licking the bone. It's like, what the fuck?
yeah,
Oh,
Freddy
man.
got fingered is hilarious.
He's like, so if I'm with you 100% of the time, you're giving me a blowjob.
Rip Torn's also insane.
Oh,
Yes.
God. So the best way, the line was like, "Do you have a problem with my legs?" She's like, "No, you do, or you're just fucking lazy."
Did you ever see Rip Torn's DUI footage?
Oh God, yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh my
that's
God.
amazing.
Oh man.
Oh my God, he looks like a wizard.
That's a good name too, by the way. Rip Torn.
Yeah.
Is it real?
I don't
I
think
don't
so. There's no way.
That-
That's
Rip
his
Torn?
porn name
Rip Torn needs to fight Rip Taylor.
when he fucks his stepdaughter.
Oh God. Yeah, the Rip Torn Rip Taylor fight. I think we could get that promoted on the HBO.
I gotta.
Is Rip Taylor alive still?
I think Rip Taylor's dead.
Oh, that's too bad.
Last time I saw him was in the Jackass,
Jackass
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
Who's that?
Rip
Rip
Taylor.
Rip. Oh, I should probably spell Rip Torn correctly.
Who has a name that has two terms about tearing stuff?
That's true.
The ripping and the tearing.
Prince as Max, the Beastmaster.
Oh, that's right.
His real last name is Torn,
Is it
but his real name is Elmore Rule. Rule.
Elmore?
Elmore Rule Torn Jr.
Yeah, I would definitely go by Rip too.
Rip Torn.
So they're also supposed to remake Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Dude, the dude they got to play He-Man looks like a total queer.
I saw. I. Here's how I know who that kid even is. I was watching something with Elizabeth, my daughter, and he was in it. It was like something about
Was that on Netflix?
It was on Netflix. It wasn't
where he like gets paid to go out with people.
no, that's a new one.
Oh.
This one was like To All the Boys I Loved Before. It's based on like a series
Oh,
of
yeah,
juvenile
yeah.
teen novels. And she's watching. I'm like,
Yell for me before I got kicked out of the state.
Oh, Jeff, what's up?
oh yeah, we're supposed.
You weren't you supposed to call him?
I forget. Well, yeah.
Things kind of went, yeah, sideways.
Call him up, Jay.
We might.
You need
Oh
to
my
hear
God,
this
man.
kid's
What?
voice.
But
Oh my God.
that's how I found out who that kid was playing He-Man. It's like that's not going to work.
Why
at all.
can't we just use Cena? What's wrong with Cena playing He-Man?
Well,
It's
How about
gross.
like a really tall blonde guy playing
Oh,
He-Man?
Thor already said he doesn't want to do that.
yeah,
No, he
Yeah.
said
he's the only really tall
yes.
blonde guy around. So
That's like high level.
yeah, yeah. You don't even need a high level guy. You need somebody. I don't care if they find somebody you don't know, you've never heard of. I don't mind unknowns as
Yeah,
long as they
'cause you-
look the role.
Or yeah, they look the role and they can do the line.
He's like 6'1", about 185 pounds, and he's got dark hair. It just doesn't work.
You know, he'll look like a complete asshole if he dyes hair blonde.
Another movie that like a series that could be done amazingly, and if it was done kind of like I never seen Lord of the Rings, but I know it's like well done. Peter Jackson.
The Lord of the Rings movies are,
like,
yeah.
Why can't we just get a Mortal Kombat movie? Like,
2021.
but is it going to be fucking shit or is it going to be like
No.
epic?
High budget. They got really good
A-list
writers.
actors.
Yeah, they're casting. I mean, I haven't heard anybody who's definitely cast yet, but they got a release date, March
Did you ever
2021.
watch the Mortal Kombat Legacy?
I've heard good things.
I don't
Yeah,
want backstory. I just want just go right to the tournament and just have that be the fucking.
No, you're
movie.
gonna get backstory
Ah,
because it's been by that point it'll be over 25 years since the first movie and almost 25 years since the second movie.
does everything need to be overly explained?
I don't know if you need to explain everything too much. They always seem to do it in superhero movies, like for every Spider-Man movie, there's always a backstory.
Well, what's this new Joker
from the
movie?
new
Is that
one.
just literally just
That's like an
all-
Elseworlds type thing.
What's that?
It's not the Joker as we know it. It's basically like
His own
what
Joker.
they call in DC is their Elseworlds or alternate
Multiverse.
alternate universe type thing.
I like how he tried to make Bruce Wayne smile, the kid Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was so stoked about that. And I was kind of like, eh. Like, I like Joaquin Phoenix, I like the Joker, but that really didn't do much for me.
Yeah, but then it's a 2-minute trailer. So if we get another trailer, maybe it shows a little bit more. I'm sure it's going to be well acted.
Yeah.
Matt and Frank seem to think it's going to be fantastic. I don't know.
They just posted the second
It's
trailer
terrible.
for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that looks awesome.
That does look awesome.
Yeah.
No, that Joker movie looks terrible. To me.
How shitty for Luke Perry. He just got cast in a Tarantino movie, and that would have probably been like springboarding him into like other
Yeah.
fucking acting, and
Well,
he fucking dies.
He already had Riverdale, man. What else do you need?
He was the best part of that show.
Yeah, absolutely. I got sucked into that show. I'm sorry, but
I watch it all
I don't
the
even know what that
time,
is.
that's the Archie show that's on the CW.
Where they just fucking solve murders.
Oh, I have
It's
No
like
clue.
the Archie comics, but it's dark.
It's dark
Hmm.
as
And he plays Archie's dad. Played Archie's dad.
yeah, but he got he's even like in the trailer, he's billed.
Oh, he's a big part.
It's like Brad Pitt, DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, Luke Perry,
He's like fourth billing.
Timothy Olyphant or whatever, and
The elephant, yeah.
yeah.
But even Brad Pitt said that when he met him the first time, he was like, they're like almost the same age.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
he said when they were all trying to do pilots in the early 90s and get shows or do whatever, and he was one of those. He was an out of work actor still, and Luke Perry got 90210, and he was like one of the biggest stars on the planet, and he never got to meet him then. He got to meet him now. He's like, oh my god, that's Luke Perry. It's like it's like yeah, they've been cool 30 years ago, but I guess now
I guess Luke Perry's son just signed to that All Elite Wrestling.
Yep.
yeah.
His name's like Jungle Boy or something. He wrestled David Arquette, and I guess Arquette's like a huge wrestling.
But he was the
like,
WCW champ.
He was the WCW
Yeah.
champion.
But even to this day, I'm saying, and he like after he won the match, he like said something really nice about Luke Perry, blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna like lose sleep over like some of these celebrities dying, but it's like it does suck when a guy was like probably gonna have some upswing in his career as like an older actor.
And who seems like a generally nice
Yeah.
guy.
And he was
Yeah.
he was a good, nice guy. He was healthy, supposedly, right?
Tarantino movies will like springboard your career. Like look at Travolta. He was in
They
the
brought him
Gunner,
back.
and then Pulp Fiction, and now he's back in the
Well, you
Gunner,
want to
but-
look at it both ways. It brought him back, and it catapulted Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
So it does.
By
it.
the way, you want to know one of the worst movies fucking ever is, and I know you've seen this before, is Basic.
Yes.
That movie fucking sucks.
Wait, which one's Basics Travolta,
That's
right?
Travolta and Sam Jackson. They're
Oh,
both.
yeah.
I didn't mind that. Is that when they were like trying to?
Because it kept on changing.
It's just Twist City.
It's like
Oh,
it doesn't make any
and you
sense.
find out, wasn't it Tim Daly's the villain at the end of the movie?
The whole movie's just twist.
For some
twist.
reason, there was another military one that Jackson made around the same time, maybe rules.
You're thinking of the general's daughter with Travolta.
Yeah, I'm thinking of General's daughter.
Sam Jackson. does
that
a-
wasn't bad.
You got to see The Interrogator.
Why?
I think it's called with Sam Jackson.
No, the negotiator.
Is that what it's
Him
called?
and, Kevin Spacey.
No.
No,
It's-
that's a good movie.
No,
I've seen that.
it's the Interrogator. Like Sam Jackson's like a interrogator for the military, and there's this like Middle Eastern bombing scare that's going on, and
That's a direct-to-video one.
it's
Yeah.
it's insane. Like no, it's a good movie. But
Really?
it's insane.
Well, I mean, just because they're direct-to-video now doesn't mean they're bad. It's just they can't get the backing to be released wide. That's why you get a lot of these movies on video on demand. Right
Why
away.
did everybody hate Bright that was on Netflix?
that
I thought that was great.
You know what this has nothing to do with the movie. Earlier I said I have a 4K TV, and I tried watching it on Netflix on my 4K TV, and it automatically plays it at 4K or HDR. There's parts of that movie that are really dark, and you can't see anything. But if you watch it with an HDR TV or a 4K TV, it's even darker, and you can't see anything if you're at the
Oh.
wrong angle. I had to go back and watch it again. The first time I watched it, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good. But I didn't see half of it because I was at the wrong angle on my TV.
When I was explaining what the movie was before, I saw it like on Netflix not long after it came out, but someone's like, it's Training Day and Lord of the Rings. I was like,
Yeah, I
Hey?
was thinking more like a Training Day, like Warcraft or something. But
and
it's,
I was like, that's creatures
creatures.
cool sounding. Like
it
I'll watch
wasn't. It wasn't terrible like everybody said.
I liked it.
It
I
was
liked it a lot.
and it did well enough where they said they're going to make a sequel. I don't know if they ever will now. Netflix is another thing where I don't know how they're going to survive.
It's going away in like 175 days if they don't get funding or something like that. Or
They are $10 billion in debt. $10.5 billion.
That's not a big deal.
So 3 years ago,
It's not a big deal.
they've basically
You
doubled
can make it back.
They've doubled in debt 3 years in a row.
Have they tried opening a church and then having it burn down and then having
That doesn't work for everything, Jay.
Okay.
So they were
'Cause you can get $1 billion that
they were
way.
they were $1.25 billion.
Still be $9 billion in debt though.
So build 10 churches. This is
were-
not that hard.
$1.25 billion in debt. The next year they were $2.5 billion. The next year they were $5 billion. Now they're $10.5 billion in debt.
Well, you remember Movie Pass, right?
Yeah.
Movie Pass is like, hey, pay $10, see as many movies as you want anytime. It's like, this sounds too good to be true.
And it was.
Turns out it was.
Yeah.
Because then it got to a point where it's like, okay, you can only see 10 movies a month. Okay, still fair. Now you can see 5 movies a
Or
month,
3 or
but only these certain movies on these certain days.
Yeah,
that's
was
my
like blackout days.
That's my concern with Game Pass on Xbox. Not, I know you guys don't game, but
Nerds.
so you're gonna have the Game Pass has 100 games per month or over 100, 150 sometimes.
Yeah.
That you can play for $10 a month. You can play all these games. A bunch of them are the same recycled games. They're old or whatever, but Microsoft has their new shit's gonna be on there.
They're exclusives.
Whatever they make. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna make.
Well, I think they're hoping like
But people, it does boost sales.
it
'Cause
might,
people like
it might
something.
boost sales, but also you don't get any of the DLC with the Game Pass.
You do not.
You'd have
no.
to buy a DLC separately. So I guess that's where they make their money.
But they wanted to be the Netflix of games, but now Netflix is going out of business. They might want
I
to
mean,
change that.
not necessarily to go out of business, but what do you specifically have Netflix for?
I think Netflix needs more children's movies and more Indian movies.
No, they do not. There's so many Indian movies.
There's so many Bollywood movies out
I
there.
typed
Probably
in
where
the-
they make a lot of money off of that.
No, they
though.
do. They have a because well, actually no, Disney bought that. I'll get into that in a minute. But $10.5 billion in debt, and they raised prices again.
Yep.
It's $15 a month for Netflix.
Also, when you're telling me what's new to Netflix this month and you're stoked about Bruce Almighty in 2019,
yeah.
might want to rework that a
The-
little
well,
bit.
yeah, they're like, into Spider-Man, into the Spider-Verse on there. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but that just came out on DVD too, also, and I downloaded it. But
They were hyping up movies I saw 15 years ago as new to Netflix. I'm like,
well, you have Netflix.
Rad.
What do you look forward to on Netflix?
to be fair, I have a fucking queue like lined up with movies that is probably 40 deep.
Was there
That-
any shows you like wait for to come on?
Nah,
You watch Stranger
I mean,
Things?
Yeah, I do watch Stranger Things, and
So
I've- and
that's what I'm looking forward
I've
to.
been like
So
waiting
Stranger
to watch
Things?
Black Mirror because everyone tells
Oh,
me Black
Black
Mirror is
Mirror.
amazing, but I haven't watched yet.
Frank gave me his Hulu account. and
Hulu's better.
I liked Hulu because it had all the like really old school like
Olsen Twins movies, those
No.
are all on there.
They did have
yeah,
those.
no, those I don't give a shit about. It was the old Sherlock Holmes stuff from like the 1920s,
Oh yeah, old shit.
like
Basil
almost
Rathbone and shit.
pre-Hollywood movie shit.
There's
And
I will tell you the things I will watch on Netflix. Stranger Things, I'm waiting for that. Like Stranger Things, I watched The Office because I've never seen it and it's there, although that's going away.
It's going away. Yep.
I did watch the Lemony Snicket show with the kids, which was did you watch it?
No.
You should have. It was more Tim Burton-y and kind of darker.
Is it
and stuff.
still on there?
Oh yeah. They own it. It's always gonna be on there. What else? Sabrina's not too bad. I just whatever. It's like Riverdale, but much darker.
Well, it's all witchy and shit. Right?
It's like satanic. And National Treasure.
Yep.
I watch National Treasure all the time because I can fall asleep to it really easily.
I love both those fucking movies.
And not no,
Two's better.
oh.
I don't know. I like two.
I think 2 was just like, I don't know, man, because it was like the conclusions they jumped to in that. It's like, well, it's made of this wood. So is the Queen's desk in Buckingham Palace.
yeah,
This must have a trap door. I'm like, well, it's kind of a little.
Yeah.
Don't get me
A
wrong.
little bit
I
of a
like
reach.
I like both National Treasure movies.
It's
But
like
I like the first one better, but
Yeah.
it's what I call a nap movie. I've seen it so many times. It's just background noise. I need something to play in the background, and I will fall asleep to it.
Were those supposed to be new school Indiana Jones?
Yeah, but it was like
When they made
history
'em.
and shit,
Yeah.
and-
Well, that's kind of what
Or an
Indiana Jones
RPG
was.
game.
Yeah, but Indiana Jones had an edge to it, and it wasn't Disney-fied. It was a little darker, a little bit more occult in it.
Hmm.
National Treasure was just
This is
It was a
popcorn
Disney-
fluff.
yeah, it was a
Good,
Disney.
though.
It
What's
was
Disney-
fucked up
great.
about Nick Cage is like he gets ragged on a lot, but when he wants to be good, he's amazing.
Did you see Mandy?
What's that?
Mandy?
No.
Oh,
I tried watching
But,
that,
like,
the fucking like that one, just that. Did you watch it?
I didn't finish it.
I started watching it, and it was just like that weird, like eerie, just like that one. It was like a constant sound playing. Forgot it was like for the whole. I'm like, I can't fucking do this. I'm
Maybe
gonna fucking kill
you might have
myself.
tinnitus. You might want to get that checked out.
Yeah, if your ears ringing.
But it's like he I can't remember. They kidnap his daughter or
They
something.
killed his wife.
They kill his wife, and he goes after these people, and it's just berserk. He's just slaughtering people,
Huh.
and it's like an acid trip murder.
Well, like leaving Las Vegas,
Spree.
he's amazing in that.
Yeah.
And then
The Rock.
Raising Arizona is my favorite movie by him.
adaptation.
Adaptation. I do like Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona also has William Forsythe, who's another actor of mine who I think is totally underrated.
The
He's-
best
Yes.
movie that William Forsythe is in, Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
He's
Really?
also in.
What can you make of this dick? It looks like a Twizzler.
Oh, that's right.
He's also in The Rock with
Yep.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's right.
At one point in the mid to late 90s, they tried to make Nick Cage like Seagal, where he was like doing like Face Off, The Rock,
Yeah.
8mm, Con
Dude,
Air.
8mm is really good.
8mm is
really
really
good.
good.
Up movie.
That
But,
part
like-
where he goes home and just cries, I was like, holy shit.
But all those movies are like they're ridiculous action
8
movies. but they're
millimeter, we
good.
watch like snuff films.
He was-
or
yeah,
something.
You know,
it's
they
a-
kill Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Joker.
That was a good movie. 8mm is good.
Adaptation. Have you ever seen that?
Yep.
Adaptation's awesome.
It is. Like you said, Leaving Las Vegas. Honeymoon in Vegas is a movie he made.
Weatherman's
yeah.
awesome too.
Weatherman,
Was it when?
Wicker Man. I don't want to even go there. The Witch. Didn't he make?
I don't know The Witch.
Ooh, it was like a medieval type thing.
You ever see the
Oh,
movie
God.
Witches with Angelica Houston?
That
They're
movie's
remaking it.
awesome.
They're
Really?
remaking
Make
that.
R-rated and fucking terrifying.
They're not making R-rated, but it's going to be more truthful to a book that I guess it was based on.
Roll dolls.
Yeah,
He wrote that too.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But I forgot where I was going with that. Nick Cage is awesome. I
They're
think
gonna remake The Craft.
Yeah.
they've been talking about that for a few years. I don't know what's going to happen.
They were going to remake The Crow at one point.
Jason Momoa
They
dropped
can't-
out.
They can't fucking get anyone.
They were going to use the guy that
That-
plays Loki.
The funny thing is, I
Then
watched that.
then
I
Jason
wa-
Momoa took on the role, and then he dropped out also.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
Jared
I think
Leto? Leto would
Oh,
be
I
That
fucking
movie
hate him,
was
Matt.
so
What?
like
I hate him.
influential to.
I like Leto.
pro wrestling even.
I hate him for two things. I thought his Joker was shit, and two, he punched Elijah Wood because he didn't like his music.
I like Leto. And I think Leto would be a good Crow.
He's a cocksucker.
I said it
When he
last
saw
week.
his ass,
I have a very
Toledo.
scientific reason I don't like him. He's a dick sucking asshole.
He looks like he smells,
He looks like he
Yeah.
smells.
and his Joker looks
He's
like.
better looking than me. That's a problem.
I expounded
that
on this.
either.
I expounded on this last week when we had our little conversation about the Super Bowl. His Joker looks like pasty green-haired Adam Levine.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, with the
yeah.
tats and stuff, and I couldn't get over
Or like
that.
he tried to save the show with his shirt.
That was my favorite Super Bowl show.
He tried to save the show by just
Oh, my
showing
shirt's
his
off,
body.
ladies.
Oh, snap. I just looked at the time. I gotta get my dog some medicine.
Was
Yeah,
it medicine time?
Yeah.
There's
I
no
figure
more.
we're gonna wrap it up in a minute here.
We'll get to Jeffrey next week.
He
We'll
has,
get to Jeff
he has
soon.
phenobarbital for seizures.
But
Oh,
well,
does
you know
it
what? There
really?
hasn't been
Your
much
dog has
firework,
seizures?
Yeah.
so he might
Oh
be.
my
I mean, he
God.
might. Hopefully, he's okay because the fireworks weren't really going off tonight.
It was popping. It was popping a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I know. I
but-
heard it. I heard it rocking.
they were popping.
Really?
They're landing all on Jay's fucking house. I heard that shit.
But that was fun. I hate Jared Leto.
Hey, you know what though? We had a Leto apologist here. That's okay.
I like
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
That's okay.
He's one of my favorite actors, actually.
We
You ever
got-
seen the movie Highway?
No,
No.
See Highway. Watch it. It's him and Jake Gyllenhaal. They're going from Las Vegas to Seattle as Cobain dies. It's like a little pilgrimage.
I remember that when it
It's
came out.
awesome.
Jeremy
Little
Piven's in it.
cameos by
Greatest.
Jeremy Piven and
John C. McGinley.
John C. McGinley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
From
Nice to
Scrubs.
see.
He had another one. It was like a futuristic thing, I think, called Mr. Nobody.
That sucked.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay, never saw it.
But he was really good in Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, I just
with
can't. I know Matthew McConaughey.
That was good.
They both didn't they both win for that movie?
I think
Yes,
they did.
both
Yeah,
did.
good movie, really good.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
A
I don't know.
a little too AIDSy for you.
A little too AIDSy. I feel like I'm gonna get poked by something. I'm gonna get AIDS from it.
Oh,
Yeah. When I flipped out about that. Thanks for stabbing me.
Yeah, I can't
with
think of anything
AIDS.
else he was in. So I don't know. It just seems like he'd be a douchebag, and I can't get over that.
and that's fine.
Well, that's okay being a douchebag, alpha male type. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not looking for
No,
these
he-
guys to like be like my friends. I just want to see good acting and good movies
No,
and
he
music.
I
was
did
playing-
like an American Psycho. Like, you got a dog here, like
Yeah.
like a chow or something.
How fucking good is that movie?
American Psycho's
Psycho's
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Great.
it really is.
Like,
I'm
I'm not
returning
even.
some
I'm not even a
videos.
movie. You guys are all movie people. I'm not even a movie guy. I love that goddamn movie.
It's
Like,
great.
I'll watch
That's my
it.
favorite
You
bit.
guys want to watch that movie anytime, anywhere? I'll fucking come to your
You
house.
need to get these stains out of these sheets.
I'll come sit and watch it with you. I don't care.
No, when you watch his mental breakdown at the end. We're trying to feed that fucking cat to the ATM
Yeah.
machine.
I'm not going anywhere unless you have a fucking reservation. Like he just losing it.
Torsia.
Like the yuppie culture is so good.
I like when they're doing cocaine in the bathroom, so, and then one of his friends.
Yeah.
Fucking wasn't it
Justin Theroux. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one guy that's like the gay guy in that movie that's hitting on him
Oh yeah,
is actually Gavin Belson from Silicon Valley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard of that show.
And he had a nicer card, so he got
that's right,
I've never seen Silicon
The
Valley.
book is not good.
No.
See, now it's different. Yeah, isn't it the same guy who wrote that? Also wrote something else. Did he write Fight Club?
No.
no.
He wrote what's the movie with Vanderbeek?
Rules of Attraction.
Rules of Attraction.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and
He
Less
wrote
Than Zero.
Like, what's his name?
you were to-
Bret Easton Ellis.
Yes.
I'm thinking of Chuck.
Palahniuk.
Palahniuk.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Okay.
Speaking of Vanderbeek, I really liked Varsity Blues.
Vanderbeek's pretty funny
I just
guy.
watched Angus.
Oh my God, Angus.
Angus.
I love that
Oh, yeah.
movie.
Oh, one more thing. We were talking about this before I peace out. They're making another Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Yes.
Nick Cage is going to be in that.
That's
Apparently.
good.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Aren't Biggs and Vanderbeek in
Yes,
that?
they're both in it
Mr.
too.
Biggs,
It's
Mr.
all
Vanderbeek.
coming full circle. That's
So
why I thought
Smith
about that.
Vader's back in that
Smith
too.
like doesn't eat meat or smoke anymore. He's like done with all.
He almost died.
Yeah.
Literally.
I know. I had a heart attack.
The Widowmaker artery is what.
Yeah, well, yeah. That when your left ventricle, I believe, or whatever, it just clogs up. That's the one you certainly you can really die.
He had a string of movies that were not Jay and Silent Bob that I fucking loved. I loved Red State and I loved Tusk.
I tried watching Tusk. I just didn't finish it. Red State was real fucking weird.
If you think Red State's weird, watch Tusk.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it turns the guy into a fucking.
Walrus.
That movie's fucking
Did
awesome.
you watch Yoga Hosers?
Sucked. That
Is it,
sucked.
is that the one with his daughter in it?
Yeah,
They're
Yeah.
sucked.
making another one,
Moose Jaws.
Moose Jaws, but Jay and Silent Bob are
It's,
in that.
it's going to be Jaws with a moose.
Yeah. Sounds like
A moose in the
pretty
woods.
Amazing.
I just I'm glad they made another Jay and Silent Bob. I hope it's good though. Hope it
Clerks
doesn't-
2 was terrible.
I
really
like
was.
That movie.
I thought
It
was
had
terrible.
it had moments like the whole argument
Rosario
about
Dawson dancing her boots flapping around.
well
That's
that
part of that movie.
that also, but we're taking it back. Like we're taking
Porch
Porch
Monkey.
Monkey.
yeah, we're taking it back. And then what trilogy was better, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
Yeah.
And that's the only real trilogy. And then that fight with the little short guy. I can't think of the short guy's name, but there's some good parts, but the movie as a
Kevin
whole.
Smith movies don't hold up very well. I like Dogma still, but like Clerks and Mallrats, I own both those and I've watched them in the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And they're both kind of like,
Has it become like Wayne's World, where like you look back on it, like it's just not funny anymore?
Ugh.
I actually like Wayne's World more than Clerks or
Wow,
Mallrats.
that's a bad indictment. Because me and him were talking about, like, I was a huge Wayne's World. Like, I'm not a theater person. I went to Wayne's World and watched it like 12 times with each person that I knew that
Yeah.
wanted to watch. I love that movie. And then I tried to watch it one day here when I was setting up my Christmas shit in here, on like all my cards and my, my Christmas tree, and I'm watching. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
I watched
This
it
is
with the
like-
kids.
Dumb as
And
shit.
but times have changed and everything. Another thing too, though, Wayne and Garth were really
Yeah.
homophobic.
yeah.
Yeah, they
You
were.
can't do that now, like fag, like the whole, like,
Yeah, you can't.
you're a Schvinter boy.
You know what movie holds up really well that's kind of similar to that is Airheads.
I've not watched Airheads in probably a decade and a half.
Airheads is fucking amazing.
Get your
still.
rocks up.
Yeah.
And the fuck scene.
I watched Under Siege the other day.
I ain't farting on no snare drum.
That had boobs in it, but
Oh, God.
Under Siege.
It also
Under
has,
Siege is
it also has Gary or Tommy Lee Jones or Gary Busey dressing up as a woman.
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey.
Busey, yeah.
The thing about Under Siege,
Yeah,
the
his
best
line.
thing you could ever, the Gary Busey, like, I did not have access to the file at the time.
And he does a little
It's
snap.
just like the
His
end of
Gary
the
Busey
sentence.
snap.
There's a book called Segology
Yeah.
that I
Yes.
own, and it's fucking great. And it just pretty much breaks down every Seagal movie in chronological order. And this dude, the way he wrote it, it's all smartassy, like how we would talk about this
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And it's fucking great. John King Bookstore downtown in Corktown.
The big one.
Yeah, I found the giant fucking bookstore there.
Like
I found
4
that there one
stories.
day, and I'm like, this is fucking a treasure. It's fucking great.
That sounds fantastic, actually.
You'd love it.
I like how Rob Schneider broke down what a piece of shit he was. He was talking about he's like,
Oh, from
I guess-
SNL.
Rob Schneider was talking about somebody like a mutual friend they had, and Steven Seagal goes, "I just read the greatest script I've ever read in my life," and they're like, "Cool, who wrote it?" He goes, "I did." He was talking about himself. It was some movie that did not do well at all.
Of course not,
But
because he
whatever.
only
Deadly-
had 2 movies that
On
were.
Deadly Ground.
Oh, that was the oil drilling one.
That's the one that he directed. I
Hey,
Your
buddy,
Alaska
don't be
Pipeline?
fucking with oil workers.
think. Yeah.
Like, if you want to go based on just purely, which would have been decent movies without him, just not Steven Seagal movies. Under Siege was a solid movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Executive Decision, which he's only in for like 12 minutes, was a solid movie.
Yep.
Great.
I'm trying to think if there's any
Above
other.
the Law, I liked.
Man with
I
the,
liked Hard to Kill.
Keenan
William
Ivory
Forsythe
No,
again.
his movies were good. We loved his movies because
But it trailed way off.
if you're talking about good cinema, like actually quality production movies, that
Half Past Dead.
I always like to think of it as
Fuck you.
if you put somebody else in his role, would the movie still work? And Under Siege, somebody else could be the cook and basically be his role. What was the other one we said?
I like the Glimmer Man.
No, I said another one though. Under Siege and then Executive Decision.
Executive Decision.
Somebody else
El
could have done a role.
Machete.
The movie itself was a quality
Kurt
movie.
Russell, Holly Berry are both in that, right?
Yeah. So if you could have put someone else in those roles, it still would have worked. But they just happened to be Steven Seagal at the time.
Didn't
Yes.
Seagal get shot out?
Hard
from
to Kill
above?
wouldn't work with anybody else, really. Think about
Mark
it.
for Death was the one with the voodoo.
Yeah, that one
Mark
was
for
that was like an X-rated movie. They had to
Yeah.
cut that back.
Mark for Death rules.
It was bad. It was like Predator 2. Like
No.
they had to cut it so much so it wasn't
Yeah.
X-rated.
My favorite one was probably Hard to Kill because William Forsythe,
Hard to Kill was a good one.
so awesome.
William Forsythe was in Hard to Kill?
Now, what was the one where Out for Justice? Sorry,
Yeah.
Out for Justice.
Hard to Kill was one where they killed his wife and they thought he killed him. He was in a 7-year coma.
yeah,
but his
yeah.
kid jumped out the window.
Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah. But his kid jumped out the window and ran to Jerry Orbach's house.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
All right, we're trailing off. All right, Jay, thank you for coming by.
Go give Taco some meds.
Yeah, I got to
Hey,
give him his Pheno.
Take care of that dog.
Peanut butter towel.
Radio Underground. Check us out on social media, all formats, everything you got. It's Radio Underground. One word.
One
Don't
word.
split it up. Radio Underground. We are out. Tom, thank you for coming by.
You're welcome.
You guys are awesome. You're welcome here anytime you want to be here.
Word.
Peace.
Peace.